What's up, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome back to another live stream for 4 days in a row right now so far. 4 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We screened for 4 days in a row. Welcome back. What the hell is on my screen over here? That's an older background, right? What is that? Where's it? I was looking for the Christmas background they put up, but I can't find the Christmas backgrounds. I don't know where it is. I don't know. You know, I don't know anymore. I don't know. Hello. Hi. How you guys doing? What's new? My hair is still purple. Can you believe it? Wow. My hair is still purple. I thought it'd be gone by now, the color. Purple. Still purple. Purple Mima. Hey, where is Purple Mima? Purple Mima, where you at? I miss Purple Mima. You guys remember Purple Mima? Oh, my shirt is like Purple Mima. Ugh. Shirt is tight. I'm fat. Ugh, I'm trying to lose weight, man. I'm trying to lose weight, guys. I'm just trying to lose some weight. Sucks. Brian P. knows. What's up? Sean B. Ray. That's it. 3 people in the chat. It's all good. I'm glad the 3 people are here. Welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay tonight while we're here. All right? They said to put Christmas decorations on the screen, but I don't see any. I can't find the Christmas decoration stuff. I don't know where it is. Where is my Christmas? Christmas pack right here. Add. Oh, here it is. 6 overlays. Oh, what we got here? Can't see it. 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 And can't see it. What the hell, man? AI generate? What is that? Generate all backgrounds? Huh? A generate Christmas. Christmas tree. Come on. Create. I'm creating a Christmas tree. Let's see what it creates. Can you guys see my screen? No, I don't think so. Oh, that's cute. look at it. Look at what it gave us. Can I show it? Where is my Christmas tree? No, it's not here. It's not here. Oh, so there's the other backgrounds. Oh, like that. So. Okay. That's that one. Then you have that one. Okay, I see you. And we have this one. Oh, look at that. Christmas Santa Claus hat. What do you call those? Candy canes. And a present and balls. What else we got here? We have what's that? That's something different. Where the backgrounds? Where the background go? Oh, here. Oh, look, that's Santa. That's Santa Claus. Frosty. Frosty the snowman was a jolly happy man. All right, what else we got? That's cute. Oh, I got red. That's nice. And last but not least, they gave us. I don't really like that one. I'll go back with this one for a background. But I have my own background in done. I like this background guy. Look at this one. That's Santa Claus in the background. These are mine. Or this one. Or this one. Or the one we had yesterday was nice too. We had this one yesterday. So maybe today I'll put snow. But if I don't put, maybe if I take that off and go up here, what was up here? Was there other? Was something else up here? No. What was this? What is this? Oh, look! This is where it is. The Santa Claus overlay. Look. Santa Claus overlay. Hey. That's cute. That looks like me. I'm always in my boxers or something. I'm like drooling. Holy shit. Boxing Day. Oh, that's cool. Boxing Day, guys. Then we have, that's for Thanksgiving, this one, right? Isn't that Thanksgiving, this one, or no? I guess it could be Christmas as well, right? It could be Thanksgiving or Christmas. But I don't like it. So I'm not going to use it. That's all they got. It's candy canes. Look at that. That's cute. I like that one. Candy canes, guys. Look at that. You like that one? Stripping snow bunnies. That's what we need. That's what we need, One Dramatic. Stripping snow bunnies, right? Wild Dog, what's up? Rose joined us. Hi. Welcome to the back to the club. Welcome to the playground. Woo! Oh, man. What else we got here? What is that? That's Halloween. You gotta get rid of it. Halloween must go. Halloween is over. Oh, look at that. That's cute. That's cute. And we have this one. Happy Holidays, it says on the bottom, right? And gingerbread. The gingerbread guy. Icon, gingerbread icon. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yippers. All right, so if I'm like live streaming a show, let me see something. If I'm live streaming, hold on, guys. If I'm live streaming this guy, for instance, will show, and I share my screen. Oh, so that's how it says like that. Okay. All right, I got it. So in the meantime, I'm going to use one of the ones I installed yesterday, which is I could use this. This is good too. That or that I could use. With that. No, not that. With that, that's nice. The red one, that's nice. That's nice too. The red one. The yellow. Well, I'm gonna put this one for today. This one maybe? That looks nice. Wait, I was remove this. Wait. Remove this. And leave it like that. Or like this. No, not that. This. Maybe that. Maybe I'll use that one today. That one. I'm gonna use that one for today. You guys like that one, the tree? Every day I'm gonna use something different. But this was yesterday, and this will be today, or this one today. Which one you guys? Which one you want today? Number one. This is number one. The one you're viewing right now is considered number one for today. Or number two. That's number two for today. What do you prefer? One or two? One or two? One or two? One or two? Oh, man. One or two? One, two. I got two ones. I got two twos. Two twos and two ones. Come on. Come on. Two twos and two ones. Come on. Dog, vote, motherfucker. What the fuck? Don't say hi to Wild Dog. Vote, motherfucker. One or two? One or two? One? Which one was one again? Which one did I pick as one? I forgot. Hold on a minute. No, I forgot which one was one and which one was two. I forgot. Hold on a minute. Let's see. One? Which one was one again? Or two? Oh, that white one's two. The white is two. One? Which one was one again? Or two? Oh, two is a Christmas tree. All right. Oh, man. One? One? That's a white one. Or two? Or two. All right. All right, the Christmas tree is two. Sorry. Second is tree. All right, thank you. So you got one, you got two. How many people voted? You got one, two. Oh, you guys are boring. You guys are party poopers. You guys don't even play the game with me. I'm asking you guys to vote, and only like 4 of you people voted. What the hell, man? One, two, one. Two is the Christmas tree? All right, I guess the Christmas tree lost. The Christmas tree lost. I don't know. It looks like more people voted for one. So I'm going with the white one. Here, that's it. Sorry. Thank you, everyone, for voting. You're right. Thank you for the 6 people who voted. Thank you, 6 people who voted. All the other people are party poopers. Party poopers. Wonder Matters, thank you. Now, where were we yesterday? Were you a day?
The witness may step down.
All right, witness may sit down.
Jurors, in light of our late start today, I'm going to keep on. Everybody good? Thumbs up. You may call your next witness.
In an area, I would try to avoid that when collecting for potential.
Overruled.
Correct.
And so when they are pressed together in a compactor, they are pushed together and they can then be cross-contaminated.
I want to see, when did we stop yesterday, guys? When did we stop yesterday? I forgot where we stopped. Let me look at the video from yesterday. I'm sorry. Where are my videos from yesterday? That's scary. That's scary, bro.
This summer, while most Americans were
That's
chowing
scary,
down.
bro. All right, hold on, guys. Sorry. All right, we watched this video live. Watch it. Let me see. Let me stop. Where were we?
Looked like before they went into the bags that we just talked about, that you talked about on cross-examination?
Hold on, guys.
I don't.
I'm looking for it.
And do you know what the objects looked like, if they went into the compactor at all?
I don't.
So do you know where those bags went?
The bags were, as far as I know, the bags were recovered from the trash site. I'm not sure where exactly they were recovered from before that.
I might have one moment.
You may.
I don't remember.
Any recross?
Just a couple of questions. When you looked at Exhibit 21 just now,
All right, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. What was today? Yesterday was day 7? Was yesterday day 7, guys? Do you remember? Anybody know if yesterday was day 7? I'm a little lost right now. Day 1. Oh. Where did it go? Should have marked it. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Hey, Manny V, how you doing, Manny V? What's going on?
in fact, it was an oily residue that was deposited
12.
in bags, reports that you just told the jury. Tell us about Heather, that you examined in an investigation like.
I don't remember. I don't know where we were yesterday.
Sir, you understand you're still under oath?
Yes.
You may proceed, Attorney Tipton.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
I don't remember. How did we leave yesterday?
In the movement of the knife, blood evidence flies off the knife and stabs onto a surface, correct?
Yes.
Technical review is one that is done by a qualified analyst that takes a look at your work to make sure that you followed all the proper protocols
that
and
properly.
procedures
Oh, no,
and
no.
made sure that any conclusions you made are scientifically sound. An administrative review looks over the file to make sure there's no spelling mistakes, no
Hold on. What was today? Wait, hold on.
You said you could describe that fireplace as having what looked like a repair room, right?
Yes.
Did you examine it?
I did not.
Would you agree that also what's depicted in Exhibit 21 could be foam that's
Skin cells themselves would help identify a person who would have been using the item or wearing that. Correct. Correct.
I'm confused. I'm lost. Movies and chill. I'm lost. Sleep. Honestly,
21 just now? You said you could describe that fireplace as having what looked like a repair room, right?
Yes.
Did you examine it?
I did not.
Would you agree that also what's depicted in Exhibit 21 could be, would you agree with that?
Jurors, in light of our late start today, I'm going
o'clock, guys.
to keep
I'm
on.
going to bed.
Everybody good?
Guys, it's
Jurors, in light of our late start today, I'm going
o'clock,
to
guys.
keep
I'm
on.
going to bed.
Everybody good?
Late start. I'll
Jurors,
go
in
to.
light of our late start today, I'm going
I don't know.
to keep
I
on.
can't remember.
Everybody good?
I don't remember. I don't know. I don't know. Fuck it. I'll go back to the play later on if we need to. Did we watch this part with the dab? What is that?
It did not have any visual similarities to skin tissue.
So there's no question in your mind, as a forensic analyst, that that has anything to do with someone-
Polka Dot Susan, how you doing?
But as you sit here today, you don't even know what it is.
Correct.
And the fact that we saw an exhibit, and it's Exhibit 233, could we have Exhibit 233, please? This exhibit was indicative of Exhibit 232, and it's the hair that you described as consistent with human hair, correct?
Correct.
And it's the root section, correct?
Yes.
And you'd agree, wouldn't you, that a hair that contains the
8 and
root,
9.
that hair falls out
I'm not-
naturally?
Yes, it does.
So, guys, day 9 was today. So this is day 7. We're watching it on the screen right now. So I don't think we watched day 7, right? I don't remember.
Yes.
And there's nothing to indicate
I don't think we did.
nefarious about the fact that there is a root attached to this hair.
Day 6.
Correct.
It's just the fact that when you examined this, you examined it with the protocols that you use, and you made a determination based on its structure, as the term you used, that it was consistent with human hair, correct?
Yes.
When you use that phrase, consistent with human hair or consistent with animal hair, what you're saying is, you can't say positively that it's human hair, but it's consistent. Correct?
This looks
With this root, you can confirm it's a human hair. If it did not have a root, it would have to be consistent with.
Okay.
Okay.
With regards now to these various items and tools that you testified to yesterday, and I'm talking about the hacksaw and hammer and things like that, correct?
Yes.
All of what you told this jury, without repeating the label, all of that is, it's fair to say that you're unaware of exactly where those tools were found.
We were in the same program.
And that,
We were in the same class.
Correct.
and as you sit here today, you're not sure what particular bags those tools were found in, correct?
Correct.
And so, even though you detected the presence of red brown stains and determined that some of those stains had hemoglobin in them, you can't tell the jury how that biological evidence came to be on each and every one of those tools. You just tell us there was biological evidence, in these tools, correct?
That is correct.
And once again, these biological evidence that you detected on those tools could have been on any one tool or more, could have been deposited as a result of transfer, correct? Or, as you called it, cross-contamination, correct?
That is correct.
Day 9 was today? On day 7. I don't know.
I'll just ask you a couple of questions about the testimony regarding a hat that you testified to about yesterday, right?
Yes.
You did detect something that you described as greasy or oily film. They're trying
Yes.
to hide it or get rid of it. What that greasy or oily film was, correct?
Correct.
You never did any further testing.
With this root, you can confirm it's a human hair.
Greasy or oily residue that
I
you
was
saw
just saying
to
that-
determine if in fact it was an oily residue that was deposited on a tool to prevent it from rusting or things like that, correct?
The testing that I did was the screening test for blood, and it was in the same area as the hatchet head.
But other than that, other than trying to determine if there was a presence of biological evidence, you did not specifically try to determine what the greasy, oily residue was. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
What do we see?
And you certainly didn't, well, I shouldn't put it that way. You didn't take any effort to try to go to a particular store, find the exact same tool, and see if that tool contained a greasy, oily residue, did you?
I did not.
Why not? Why didn't you? Huh? Why not?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Redirect.
Briefly. Mr. Sheehan, do you test all areas of a potential scene?
I do not.
Did you test all areas of 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway?
No.
Why not?
I tried to identify the most forensically relevant areas and move from there.
And what are the reasons that testing could be negative?
It's possible that a particular biological substance was not present, and it's also possible that it was present at some point, was cleaned off, or it is present and to the point where it is not detectable by the tests.
So how does cleaning a house impact your ability to find blood or trace materials?
If it was thoroughly cleaned, I would imagine the test results would be negative.
Does washing the walls impact your ability to find blood?
Yes, it does.
What type of cleaning materials would impact your ability to find blood or trace materials?
Virtually any type of cleaning material, bleach, alcohol, ammonia, anything, even water if it dilutes the sample to an extensive amount.
Even water.
Would hydrogen peroxide
Even
impact
water.
your ability to find blood or trace materials?
Yes.
Are there other ways that blood can be destroyed or diluted?
Really any type of cleaning materials, as well as environmental factors such as extreme heat.
Did you test,
Wow. That's crazy.
actually, if I could have published for the jury, Your Honor, Exhibit 21. Well, that's not the right exhibit. One moment. And this is the living room from when
Oh, I
you
saw
were
this.
there during the search warrant. Is that correct?
I remember seeing this.
Yes.
I seen this
And
part.
what do you recognize in front of the fireplace?
I remember this.
There is some looks to be a repair work around the brick as well as a carpet.
We saw this yesterday. I think.
So there was a carpet there when you were there over the hardwood floor on January 8th and 9th of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes,
And that is not the carpet that you tested in the lab. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Do you know what the objects looked like before they went into the bags that we just talked about, that you talked about on cross-examination?
I don't.
And do you know what the objects looked like
Yeah, we saw
if they
it.
went into the compactor at all?
I agree.
I don't.
So do you know
Right.
where those bags went?
The bags were, as far as I know, the bags were recovered from the trash site. I'm not sure where exactly they were recovered from before that.
But the next witness, I don't remember.
I might have one
don't
moment.
recall. The next witness is different, definitely different. It might maybe I fell asleep.
Any recross?
Just a couple of questions. When you looked at Exhibit 21.
Of course there is.
You said, you described that fireplace as having what looked like repair work, right?
Yes.
Did you examine it?
Well, I need coffee.
I did not.
I need coffee.
Would you agree that also what's depicted in Exhibit 21 could be foam that's taped around the fireplace to prevent a small child from hitting their head on the corner of brick? Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Thank you.
The witness may step down.
Yay! All right, no witness. Right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some coffee. I'll be right back. Some iced coffee.
Jurors, in light of our late
Hazelnut
start today, I'm
flavored.
going to keep on. Everybody good? Thumbs up. You may call your next witness.
We'll call Bryce Raymond.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in the cause now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. You can be seated.
Wait, sir. Just watch your step for me.
You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you please state your name for the record and spell your last name?
Bryce Raymond, Raymond.
Could you please tell,
Bryce, Bryce.
could you please tell us your educational background?
I have a Bachelor's of Science in Forensic Science from Penn State University and a Master's of Science in Biology from Tufts University.
And what is your occupation, sir?
I'm currently a Forensic Scientist 2 in the DNA unit at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab
And how long have you been employed at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab?
since June of 2019.
And can you please tell the jury your present duties in the DNA unit and the nature of the work that you do?
Yes, as a Forensic Scientist 2, I'm in charge with processing
scientist.
evidentiary items through our DNA lab processing, as well as interpreting and making any conclusions to known standards.
Do you have any specialized training to be a DNA analyst?
Yes, I received at least 6 months of
Yes.
specialized training in
Yes.
which I read all the protocols and procedures
course.
at the lab. I attended lectures and took
course
quizzes,
I do.
as well as worked on mock evidentiary
question is
items
that?
through the lab processing. And at the end of testing, I take a
How
competency
dare
test.
you?
And did you pass that competency test?
Yes, I did.
So does your testing and training stop after that initial 6-month period?
No, every
are
year
you
we have to
silly?
do at least 8 hours of continuing
At least
education
8
in order
hours.
to stay knowledgeable in the field.
And do you continue to be tested at the lab?
Yes, we do.
And what kind of testing is that called?
That's called a proficiency test.
And how does proficiency testing work at the lab?
Efficiency test.
Yeah, so twice a year we have to take a proficiency test to continuously show that we have the skills and knowledge in order to perform DNA analysis. This is given by an outside accrediting body, and when we complete our work, we send in the results to that accrediting body for them to grade.
And what are the results of your proficiency testing?
I have passed every one I have taken.
So approximately
He's so fancy.
how many samples have you had the opportunity to analyze for DNA testing?
He's fancy.
Approximately 2,000.
And have you testified
Coffee.
before in Massachusetts about
Coffee,
DNA?
baby.
Yes, I have.
Does the Massachusetts DNA unit at your lab follow standardized protocols and procedures?
Yes, we do.
And who sets those protocols and procedures?
Michael Johnson.
They are based on some accrediting bodies, such as the FBI, as well as validations that are done at the lab.
Well, you anticipated my next question, which
Is
is
what?
your lab, the Massachusetts State Police Crime
Is
Lab,
it?
accredited?
Yes, we are. We are accredited by ANAB, which is the ANSI National Accreditation Board, as well as the FBI Quality Assurance Standards for DNA laboratories.
And what does accredited actually mean?
That means we are following specific set of standards to make sure that the scientific work that we are performing is accurate and reliable.
All right,
And is
fast
that a
forward.
national accreditation?
Yes, it is.
All right, fast
If they
forward.
came from the same person.
So how many locations are you testing?
We test 26 locations as well as a sex determining location.
And what is batch testing?
Batch testing is what we do at the lab and is a common practice in
Learning.
forensic science, in which if many items need to be processed for the same lab step, one analyst will process all those items at once on the same instrument.
So why do you use batch testing?
We do that for efficiency, as it is better for one analyst to process, say, 50 items at one time on one instrument than 50 analysts trying to process one item each on the same instrument, one after each other.
Is there a protocol that you follow prior to retrieving any evidence to prepare your lab area to avoid contamination?
Yes.
So how do you avoid contamination?
To avoid contamination, I first put on protective personal equipment, and that can include a lab coat,
Latex
a
gloves.
mask, a hairnet, and for
Latex
me, a beard net.
gloves. Latex
When I go
gloves.
to my lab bench, I also put on gloves,
There you
and
go.
I spray the lab bench with bleach, clean that
Hey,
off, and lay
damn.
down lab bench paper before I proceed with any testing.
So why do you use bleach?
Damn.
The bleach is to destroy any DNA that may be present on the lab bench.
And why do you use bench paper?
We use bench paper to prevent any contamination from items that I may be testing to be deposited onto the lab bench for the next person.
And why are you wearing PPE?
The PPE is also to prevent any DNA that I may touch to go over to another lab bench or any of my DNA to be deposited on the items.
And once your
God.
area is prepared, can you please tell us what you first did and what you first do with items that you're going to sample?
Yeah, so for sample preparation, I get a list of items that have been selected for DNA analysis. I get those items out of storage in our secured walk-in room. I take that container of evidence back to the lab bench. I scan it into my custody and take a photocopy. I then open up the container, grab the items that I need, and put those aside ready for testing. I seal up the container with my initials and date and put the container away.
And did you work on lab case 23-00596?
Yes, I did.
And what did you initially do to prepare the samples for DNA analysis?
I did sample preparations on some items.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you specifically about samples. Did you prepare samples 5-1.1, sample from swabs of red brown stained cave on basement floor, 7-10.3.1, sample from the stained area C on the blade of the hacksaw, 7-10.4.1, sample from the handle of the hacksaw, 9-22.1.1, sample from stain A on white towel number 1 with red-brown stains. 9-28.1.1, sample from stained area A on apparent hairs. 9-31.1, sample from cutting of red-brown stain from piece of rug from bag number 5 from 300 Forest Street. Did you prepare samples from those?
Yes, I did.
So after preparing the samples, what did you next do?
After preparing the samples, I then did the first lab step of extraction.
And how did you do the extraction step?
Yes, to each of the tubes, along with the controls, I added chemicals to the tubes and put them in an oven, and that is done to break open the cells in order to free up the DNA. I then take those tubes and put them on an instrument that separates out the DNA and puts them in a separate tube in liquid form, and that tube is called an extract.
Did you use equipment?
Yes, I did.
What equipment did you use?
I used an oven, and the instrument was an Easy One robot.
And how did you use the equipment?
One robot.
For the oven, I just placed the samples in and took them out. For the Easy One robot, I put the samples on the robot and then programmed the robot with the proper protocol to use for the extraction and collection, and then got the tubes off of the robot when the...
Wasn't Easy One? You call it an Easy One robot? Let me Google that shit. Easy One robot. Easy One robot. Easy One robot refers to likely as the Easy One charger, a small home charging robot, or simply DIY robotic projects, like building a basic obstacle avoid from robot. What? I never heard of Easy One robot. Easy One EV charger. Easy robotics. I don't see anything. What's this? Not it. Definitely not it. No, lollipop sticks. What the hell? Copy's using.
The process was done.
And I think you said that is now
Thanks
called.
for watching. Sky Blue, what's up? Hi, Manimal. Nancy, how you doing, Nancy? Manimal reacts, I love your hair. I think you are becoming more handsome as you age. Just in my opinion. LOL. I love the salt and pepper hair on people. Nancy K, thank you very much for your compliment, baby. You already know. Run that shit. Yeah. I don't know if you hear the sound effect, but here we go. Run that shit, girl. Yeah. Leroy Jenkins. You hear that? Leroy Jenkins. One more bomb. Thank you for the compliment. Hey, Nancy, come to New York. I'll take you out on a date. Don't worry. My treat. Come to New York. I'll take you out.
Called, well, what is that now called?
That's now called an extract.
Okay. And then what did you do next?
Next, I took a small portion of the extract, known as an aliquot, and put that into a separate tube and prepared that.
Thank you for the compliment, Polka Dot Susan.
For the second step of quantification.
So now we're on step number 2?
Yes.
Okay. And what items did you do quantification for?
The same items that were previously mentioned.
And how did you perform the quantification step?
Yes, so for each of the aliquots, I put a portion onto a 96 well plate along with other chemicals. I then placed that 96 well plate onto an instrument, and that instrument does a series of heating and cooling, and that produces...
I'm glad I'm handsome. Thank you. I love that compliment. Being called handsome is very nice.
The data that gives us the estimation of DNA.
So I believe you just named the equipment that you used.
Yes, it is a real-time PCR system.
Okay.
Real-time PCR system.
So how did you...
Let me see. Now I'm gonna Google that. Real-time PCR system. Real-time PCR system. Look right here. That's what it is. More than a test. Revolutionizing molecular diagnostics. That's it. That's the thing. I don't want to start reading about it, but that's what they use. Spit it out, bro. It's a big system. Look at that thing. The thing's a huge system. Look. That's a big expensive system, man. Look at that thing. That's huge. Huge. Come on, I click play. It's not playing the video. Play the video. Well, that's what it is, guys. That's what it looks like. That's what they use. Interesting. Wow. 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 All right, back to the video.
Do you use that equipment?
So I put the 96 well plate onto the instrument. I then use the computer program associated with it to say that to start the quantification process. And then after it was done, I collected the data off of the equipment and then put it on our computer drive.
And then what did you do next?
After that, I discussed the quantitation results with the interpreting analyst of this case, who is Suman Salim.
And then what did you do?
Then we came up with how to do amplification strategies for each of the items. And then once that was decided, I went forward with the third step of amplification.
Yeah.
So step number 3 is amplification.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what items did you perform amplification for
Those same 6 items.
that we previously named?
Correct.
Okay. And how did you perform the amplification step?
Yes. For each of those items, I got the extracts, and I either used all of the extract or a portion of the extract to target an appropriate amount of DNA for testing.
Let me just stop you for a second. What's extract?
Extract was the product from the first step of extraction.
Okay. And now finish your answer. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yes. So for those samples, I added chemicals and put them into an instrument known as a thermocycler. And that also does a series of heating and cooling, which makes the copies of the DNA that are fluorescently tagged. And at the end of that process, the tube is now known as an amplicon.
And then what did you do next?
Next, after the amplicons were done, I then proceeded on to the 4th step of separation and detection.
And which items did you do the 4th step for?
The same 6 items that were mentioned.
So you did all the steps of DNA for those 6 items.
That's correct.
And how did you perform the detection step?
Yes. Of the amplicons, I took a small portion of each amplicon and put it on a 96 well plate, added chemicals to the plate.
Hold on, I want to hear that again.
I then put that
Yes.
amplicon.
Detection step.
Yes. Of the amplicons, I took a small portion of each amplicon and put it.
Step.
Yes. Of the amplicons, I took a small portion of.
The detection step.
Yes. Of the amplicons, I took a small portion of each amplicon.
Detection step.
Yes. Of the amplicons, I took a.
Perform the detection step.
Yes. Of the amplicons, I took a small portion of each amplicon
Sorry.
and put it on a 96 well plate, added chemicals to the plate. I then put that plate onto an instrument known as a 3500 genetic analyzer. I then programmed the genetic analyzer to perform the separation and detection. And then the instrument separated out the DNA fragments by size and with the
Nerd.
camera detected those fluorescent tags.
Use nerd.
And then what happens next?
After that data is generated, I take the data off of the instrument and put it on our computer drive.
And then what happens?
After I'm done, I let the interpreting analyst know that data has been collected, and I hand over any worksheets that I generated to them.
And who does the interpretation?
In this case, it was Suman Salim.
So you did not do the interpretation here.
I did not.
I might have one moment, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Yeah, he's a big nerd, Doc.
Just a few questions. Mr. Ray.
Nothing wrong with being a nerd. I'll tell you right now. I have nothing bad to say about nerds.
Yes.
Nerds are great.
Yes.
And you're running these machines, the analyzer, and everything else, and you're running them consistent with the protocols that are required to be followed to run them accurately, correct?
That is correct.
And what you do is you depend on the fact that the samples that you get for testing are samples that will result in reliable results, correct?
Correct.
But what is your height?
I am a forensic scientist too.
Okay. And are there forensic scientists 3 and stuff like that? Forensic scientists 1?
Yes.
Okay, but you're a 2, correct?
Correct.
And with your knowledge and experience, you would be, it's fair to say, isn't it, that you have no idea where the samples that you subjected to DNA testing.
Nancy the nerd.
That's correct.
And in fact, you have no idea how they were collected, wherever they were collected from, correct?
That is correct.
And in fact, you can tell the jury that at times when you conduct testing like you just described, the results will indicate that there are mixtures of different DNA in a particular sample, correct?
That is correct.
And whenever you get the results that result in a mixture, you can't determine, as a forensic scientist 2, or for that matter, forensic scientist 3, you can't tell how those two different substances came into contact with each other, resulting in a mixture, correct?
Our testing does not determine how DNA got onto an item.
And hopefully it's a simple question. Your DNA results do not tell you anything about what happened at a, let's just call it a crime scene, what happened at a particular scene or where they were collected, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Oh.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
The witness may step down.
Thank you.
So jurors, with that little extra bit, we'll take our morning break. We'll be back in 20 to 30 minutes.
All rise to the court, please.
I like that judge.
Jurors, close your notebooks, follow me.
You may
All right.
proceed.
Thank
New
you very
witness.
much, Your Honor.
New witness. Who's this lady?
Good morning. Can you please state your name for the court and spell your first and last name?
Sure. My name is Brianna Kiesel, Brianna, last name Kiesel, Kiesel.
And what is your educational background, ma'am?
I have a bachelor's in biology from Arcadia University and a master's in forensic science from Towson University.
And what is your occupation?
Currently, I'm a forensic scientist 2 with the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab,
And what unit are you assigned to?
the DNA unit.
And how long have you been employed at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab?
6 years.
And what are your responsibilities as a forensic scientist too?
I am authorized in processing, interpreting, and reporting samples that were collected from crime scenes, as well as standards collected directly from an individual. I can also technically review other analysts' work when it concerns batch files, which we call files that have standards collected directly from an individual.
And do you have training for this position?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell me about your training?
Sure. Our training is a minimum of 6 months, and during that time, we have lectures, quizzes, and this all culminates into a final written exam. We also have a practical component in the laboratory where we take several steps for sample sets forward, and that all culminates into a final written exam, as I mentioned, and a final lab practical.
And did you pass that written exam?
Yes, I did.
And that's called a competency evaluation?
Yes, that is a competency, the lab portion of it.
And do you also have to take proficiency testing?
Yes, we do.
And can you explain that to the jury?
A proficiency test is an ongoing competency test where we have to take samples forward twice a year to prove that we are that we are knowledgeable and still performing that skill or method according to the laboratory's standard operating procedures.
And have you passed your proficiency testing?
I have, yes.
And have you testified in court about DNA?
I have.
So I want to now talk to you about this case, 23-00596. Prior to retrieving any evidence in 23-00596, how did you prepare to process the evidence?
So once I was assigned the samples, I cleaned my bench space with bleach and wiped everything down, every instrument that I was using. And once that was done, I laid down a piece of fresh bench paper.
And directing you now to lab number 23-00596, did you work on items 9-27.2.1, the sample from the interior of the dark gray slippers from bag 4 of 300 Forest Street, and item 9-27.3.1, stain A of the exterior left gray slipper?
Yes, I did process those samples.
And what work did you do on those two items for sample prep?
For sample prep, they were already prepared by our criminalistics unit, so I just went into a secure freezer area to retrieve the packaging. I removed the tubes from the packaging and just visually examined the items within the tube.
Did you also work on item 9-32.1.1, the sample from the interior sleeve cuff of the Tyvek suit 9-32.2.1, the sample from stain A on the exterior left pant leg of the Tyvek suit, and sample from stain D on the interior right sleeve of the Tyvek suit?
I did, yes.
And what work did you do for that?
Those samples I performed just like I previously mentioned, where I went to the secure freezer area, retrieved the packaging, removed the tubes from the packaging, and just observed the samples within the tube.
So you also just did the sample prep for that?
Yes.
Did you also work on item 16-13.1, the unknown tissue recovered from the Swampscott dumpster?
Yes, I did.
And what work did you do on this item?
So in this case, this item was still in a specimen jar. So I retrieved the packaging, just like I previously mentioned, made sure the seal was secure as I did with the other samples. And then after that, I opened up the jar and sampled a few items from the jar and placed it into a tube for processing.
So you actually had to make the sample for this?
I did, yes.
Okay. And how many samples did you make?
So this was 16-13.1. There were two tubes we refer to as 16-13.1A and 16-13.1B.
And did you do any further work?
Yeah, a lot of details.
No, that is where my work ended.
A lot of details.
And where did the samples then go?
I then passed the samples off to Madison Frank for extraction.
Extraction. More extraction. Lots of extraction.
Cross-exam. The witness may step down.
That's it?
Thank you.
That was quick. Damn, that was quick.
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Madison Frank.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in the cause now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Proceed.
You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Can you please state your name for the court, spelling your name?
My name is Madison Frank. That is Madison Frank.
And what is your educational background, ma'am?
I have a bachelor's of science degree in forensic and investigative sciences from West Virginia University.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a forensic scientist too in the DNA unit of the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab.
And how long have you been employed at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab?
I've been employed there since October of 2019.
And what are your responsibilities?
As a forensic scientist too, I will perform DNA analysis on either known or evidentiary biological samples, interpret those results, and report out my results in a case file.
And have you had training for this position?
Yes, I have.
And have you passed your proficiency testing?
Yes, I have.
And have you passed the competency testing that was part of your training?
Yes, I have.
Kat Randall, what's up, Kat? How you doing, bro?
And have you testified in court about DNA?
Yes, I have.
Directing your attention to lab number 23-00596, did you do work on this case?
Yes, I did.
I want to ask you now about items 9-27.2.1, the sample from the interior of the dark gray slippers from bag 4 of 300 Forest Street, 9-27.3.1, the stain A on the exterior left gray slipper, 9-32.1.1, the sample from the interior sleeve cuff of the Tyvek suit, 9-32.2.1, the sample from stain A on the exterior left pant leg of the Tyvek suit, 9-32.5.1, sample from stain B on the interior right sleeve of the Tyvek suit, and 16.13.1, the unknown tissue recovered from the Swampscott dumpster. I believe I just gave you 6 of those samples. Did I mention 9-32.2.1, the sample from stain A on the exterior leg pant of the Tyvek suit? So those would be the 6. What work did you do on those?
DNA analysis is a 4-step process, so I performed steps 1 and 3 of that process on those samples.
Okay. And what are 1 and 3?
Step 1 is extraction, and step 3 is amplification.
Okay. And how did you do step 1, the extraction step?
For extraction, I received the samples and I added chemicals to the samples and the controls and then put them in an oven so that we can break open the cells to obtain the DNA. Then those samples will go on an instrument that helps to clean up the sample so that we're only dealing with the DNA and no other cell parts. Then after the extracts come off of the instrument, then I will take a small portion of that sample and I will put it in a new tube to be used for the second step.
And which instrument did you use or equipment?
An easy one robotic instrument.
Okay. And how do you use that instrument?
The samples will go onto the instrument in tubes, and then there will be new tubes where the samples will go through processing in the instrument to put out just the liquid and DNA portions of the sample.
And then what is that biological material then referred to?
An extract.
And what is that extract then ready for?
The extract is then ready to be quantified in the second step.
So did you do that second step quantification?
No, I did not.
Who did that second step for those 6 items?
Troy Adams did the second step of quantification.
And why is that?
We use a batching process when we are processing our samples so that it is a more efficient and streamlined processing.
And are you qualified to do all of the steps of DNA, the 4 steps that you described?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And then did you do more work on this case with the 6 samples?
Yes, I also did the third step of amplification.
On all 6 of those samples?
Yes.
And that being 9-27.2.1, 9-27.3.1, 9-32.1.1, 9-32.2.1, 9-32.5.1, and 16-13.1. Did I get that right?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So you did the third step. And how did you do the amplification step?
So I took the extracts that were generated from the first step, and I took portions of those samples and added chemicals to the tubes with the samples, and then I put them onto an instrument called a thermocycler, and this will have the samples go through periods of heating and cooling, and this is to make millions of copies of the specific DNA that we are looking for to be able to visualize it in further down in our processing.
And which equipment did you use for that?
A thermocycler.
Okay. And then how do you use that equipment?
The samples just go on, they are in small tubes, and they will go on into small holes in the thermocycler, and then it is a metal plate that they are in, and it will go through different steps of heating and cooling.
And what happens next to the DNA process?
So the next step will be that those tubes that just went through the heating and cooling, that those tubes will be used for the fourth step of separation.
So much work.
And who did that step?
Troy Adams.
So you did not do that step?
No, I did not.
And did that end your work on this case?
Yes, it did.
Any cross-examination? The witness may step down. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it? All that work she did? No one had questions?
The Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Troy Adams.
Troy Adams. That's the guy that just asked about. At least he's called next.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony?
Can you state your name for the court, spelling your first and last name?
My name is Troy Adams, Troyadams.
Thank you. And what is your educational background, sir?
I have a bachelor's degree from Pennsylvania State University in forensic science.
And what is your current occupation?
So I currently work as an investigator for the Lehigh County Coroner's Office in Pennsylvania.
And how long have you been in Pennsylvania?
I've been in Pennsylvania for approximately 3 years now, 2 years working in my current job.
So prior to moving to Pennsylvania, did you work in a different field?
No.
Did you work for forensic sciences in Massachusetts?
Yes.
And can you detail your working history as it pertains to forensic sciences?
Yes. So out of college, I joined the Massachusetts State Police crime lab there as a DNA analyst. I completed all my training protocols and was tested for competency, and then I began performing casework on samples.
And then did you work for a different company in as well doing forensic sciences?
Yes. After I left the Massachusetts State Police, I joined Quest Diagnostics as a forensic scientist in their toxicology division.
And just keep your voice up so everyone can hear you.
And have you had training for your position at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab and also for your position at Quest?
Yes.
And have you had ongoing training as well?
Yes.
And have you taken proficiency tests?
Yes.
And what were the results of your proficiency tests?
I passed every proficiency test.
And do you have any certifications in your current job?
Yes.
And where are those from?
So I am certified as a national medical legal death investigator.
And how did you receive that?
So I received that after a certain amount of training at my current job, and then going through and taking a certification test.
I want to direct you now to when you were working in Massachusetts. Did you do work on lab number 23-00596?
May I refer to my file?
You may.
Yes.
And did you do work on items 9-27.2.1, a sample from interior of a dark gray slipper, 9-27.3.1, stain A on the exterior left gray slipper, 9-32.1.1, the sample from the interior sleeve cup of a Tyvek suit, 9-32.2.1, the sample from stain A on the exterior left pant leg of Tyvek suit, 9-32.5.1, the sample from stain D on the interior right sleeve of the Tyvek suit, and 16-13.1, the unknown tissue recovered from the Swampscott dumpster.
Yes, I did.
And what work did you do on those 6 samples?
So I performed the second and fourth step of the DNA analysis process, quantification and detection.
And can you tell us how you did the quantification step?
So I took a sample. I was given samples from the extraction step, and then I added a mix of chemicals and went through repeated processes of heating and cooling, which quantified the DNA.
And then the process was then next ready for the third step, is that correct?
Yes, it was ready for amplification.
And who did the amplification step?
I believe that was Madison Frank.
Okay. And after Madison Frank did the amplification step, what did you next do?
I took the products of the amplification step and performed detection.
And did you do the detection on those same 6 items that we just discussed?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you do the fourth step, that detection?
I added a mix of chemicals and placed the samples on the detection analyzer.
And then what happened?
And then electropherograms were generated, which were then interpreted by the interpreting analyst.
And where did that data go?
That data was transferred to one of our servers at the State Police Crime Lab.
And did you do the interpreting or did someone else do it?
Someone else performed the interpretation.
Did you do any other work on this case?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any cross-examination of this witness? The witness may step down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
No cross-examination? Wow. Why no? I guess,
The Commonwealth may call its next witness.
Emily Oliver. Something, right? Oh, I would ask him, try to ask him something. I don't know.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in the cause now and hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Right this way. Just watch your step.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Could you please state your name for the court?
My name is Emily Oliver.
And can you tell us your educational background?
Yep. I received a Bachelor's of Science in Forensic Science from the University of New Haven in 2019.
And what is your occupation, ma'am?
I am a Forensic Scientist 2 at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab in the DNA unit.
And how long have you been employed there?
Since December 2019.
And can you please tell us your responsibilities?
So at the lab, I perform DNA testing on samples as well as DNA profile interpretation, and I write lab reports.
And what training have you had for this position?
So when I was first hired, I did an in-house training program that lasted over 6 months that involved testing mock casework samples as well as lectures and exams.
And you also have ongoing training?
Yes.
And have you taken competency tests and proficiency tests as well?
Yes.
And have you passed those?
Yes.
Prior to doing any work, how do you prepare your work area?
So first, I clean the area and all the tools I'm going to use with bleach, and then I lay down clean bench paper.
And how are you dressed before you work?
I have a lab coat, gloves, a face mask, and a hairnet.
And why do you take those precautions?
To prevent any contamination from myself onto the samples.
I want to direct your attention now to lab case number 23-00596 and asked if you worked on items 7-13.1, sample from area A on the head of the hatchet, item 7-13.2.1, sample from the handle of the hatchet, and item 9-20.1, the sample from stain A on tape with apparent gauze with red-brown stain. Did you do work on those items?
I did.
And what did you do?
So for 7-13.1, the head of the hatchet sample, I did the first 3 steps of our 4-step DNA analysis process, which is extraction, quantification, and amplification. And on the other 2 samples, I did the first 2 steps of our 4-step process in the lab.
Okay, I also want to ask you if you did any sample prep.
So I did, in the sample, it was more so just making sure I pulled the correct tube with the correct case number and item number from our cold storage room. It was previously prepared by someone else.
Thank you. Can you tell us what you did for the first step for the items that you did the first step for?
So extraction is the step where we add chemicals and heat to the sample to release the DNA from inside of the cells in the sample.
Okay. And which items did you do that for?
For 7-13.1, 7-13.2.1, and I believe it was 9-20.1.
Okay. So for all 3 of those, you did
Yes.
that. Okay. And did you use equipment for the extraction step?
Yes.
And what equipment did you use?
It's called an Easy One extraction robot.
And
Again?
what is the biological material now referred to?
A DNA extract.
And what is it now ready for?
The second step, which is quantification.
And how did you perform the quantification?
So I took a small droplet from the extract tubes and put them into a new tube. And then I add different chemicals to that new tube and put it through an instrument that estimates the amount of DNA in the sample.
And was that for all 3 of those items?
Yes.
Okay. And did you use equipment?
Yes, it's called a 7500 real-time PCR instrument.
Okay. And then what happened in the DNA process?
And after that, the samples go to the third step if they have enough DNA, which is amplification.
Okay. And for which items did you do the amplification process? Did you just do that for 7-13.1?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you not do amplification for 9-20.1 and 7-13.2.1?
Just due to scheduling reasons, that was worked best for me.
Okay. So who performed the amplification process for 9-20.1 and 7-13.2.1?
My coworker, Mary Nagel.
Okay. So talking now about what you did do amplification for, item 7-13.1, the sample from area A on the head of the hatchet. Can you tell the jury how did you perform the amplification process on that item?
Sure. So I add, again, different chemicals to the extract tubes and put it onto an instrument that creates millions of copies of these specific locations on the DNA that we're looking at.
And did you use equipment?
Yes, it's called a thermocycler.
And what happens next in the DNA process?
The last step is the separation and detection step. And that after that last step, we have the DNA profile.
And did you do that 4th step, the detection step?
I did not.
And who did that last step for 7-13.1?
My coworker, Yoli Bregu.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
I just have three.
Go right ahead.
And first off, Oliver. I didn't hear your name correctly.
Oh, Emily Oliver.
And do you have title?
You can just call me Miss Oliver, if you'd like.
Miss Oliver. Can you tell us, Jerry, a little bit something about your knowledge of inhibitors that might affect the amplification?
Sure. So different materials in the environment can kind of limit the reaction and which could affect the DNA profile that we get in the end.
And can you just tell the jurors what are some of the known inhibitors of DNA amplification?
So dye from blue jeans can be an inhibitor. I don't recall any others off the top of my head.
All right. The fact of the matter is that the DNA molecule is a pretty robust molecule, correct?
Correct.
And it's fair to say that things as common as oil and things like grease, they don't inhibit the amplification of the DNA molecule in this testing, do they?
I'm not sure.
What about the quantities that you're dealing with? Is it fair to say that the quantity that you're amplifying can be measured in nanograms?
Yes.
And what's a nanogram?
I believe it is, so it's just a very small number. I believe it's 1 × 10⁻12.
So is it fair to say that's about a 1/1 billionth of a gram?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And what about a picogram? Can you define a picogram for the jurors?
It is a slightly larger number, but still a very small quantity.
Okay. And in the amplification process that you just told the jurors about, what happens is that you separate the alleles from the molecule, the DNA molecule, and then you amplify those alleles, and then they reunite into a molecule, and a DNA molecule, and then your machine and apparatus that you use, it's able to process it and give a result, correct?
Correct. And that's mostly referring to the fact that DNA is a double helix, kind of looks like a ladder that's twisted, and it becomes single-stranded during part of the process and then comes back together again.
All right. And finally, you're familiar with the term electropharogram, correct?
Yes.
And can you just describe for the jury what an electropharogram is?
So it's just a graphical representation of the DNA profile, kind of like an EKG. There's a bunch of different peaks that correspond to the DNA. That's a printout that we get and that we look at the end of our testing.
So in the State Police Crime Lab, when you look at the electropharogram, does the analyst interpret the peaks to determine the results of the DNA testing, or is it another piece of apparatus that does the analysis of the electropharogram peaks?
So we put our electropharogram through a program called GeneMapper that does help the interpretation, but a person is still looking over the profile.
All right. So is it fair to say that in the State Police Crime Lab that the final call, so to speak, the final determination of what is or isn't interpreted as DNA, that's done by the analyst, not by the machine?
Correct.
Thank you, Ms. Oliver.
Okay, thank you.
Any redirect? The witness may step down.
Thank you, Ms. Oliver.
The Commonwealth may call its next witness.
Commonwealth will call Mary Nagel.
Mary Nagel, who's that? Mary
Affirm
Nagel.
testimony.
Come on,
You may
Mary.
proceed.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Go, Mary.
Can you state your name for the record and just spell your last name?
Yep. My name is Mary Nagel, Nagle.
And what's your educational background, ma'am?
I have a bachelor's of science in biochemistry, cell and molecular biology from Drake University, as well as a master of science in biomedical forensic sciences from Boston University.
Can you just pull that microphone a little bit closer? Thank you. And what is your occupation?
I am a forensic scientist too in the DNA unit at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab.
And how long have you been doing that?
Just over 3 years.
Can you tell us your responsibilities?
Yep, I am capable of performing all of the lab work, as well as reporting and interpreting single source profiles and writing up other reports as well.
What training have you had for this position?
I underwent a 6-month training program that included lectures, exams, and about 50 mock samples for lab practice.
And did you pass the exams that you during your training period?
Yes, I did.
And do you also have ongoing training?
Yes, I do.
And as part of your ongoing training, do you have to take proficiency tests?
Yes, we take 2 proficiency tests a year.
And have you passed those tests?
Yes, I have.
Directing your attention to lab case number 23-00596. Did you do work on item 7-13.2.1, the sample from the handle of the hatchet, and item 9-20.1, the sample from stain A on tape with apparent gauze with red-brown stains?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do on those items?
I performed the 3rd and 4th step of the DNA analysis, which is the amplification and detection process.
And how did you do the amplification step?
For amplification, I was made aware of which samples to process from Emily Oliver. From there, the samples were set aside in a tube, and I took whatever amount was needed specific to that sample item and added chemicals to that. The samples and the chemicals were then put on an instrument that went through a series of heating and cooling, and this process makes millions of copies of that DNA.
And did you use equipment?
Yes, for that, it is mostly just the heating and cooling instrument that is used, and then the pipettes and tubes and instruments like that as well.
And then you said you did the 4-step detection?
Yes, I did.
And did you do the detection for both of those items that we previously discussed?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And how did you do that?
So after the third step amplification, the samples are in smaller tubes, and a small portion of that sample is then loaded onto a plate with another set of chemicals. That plate is loaded into an instrument to run, and that instrument then detects the DNA and produces a profile for interpretation.
And did you do the interpretation?
No, I did not.
Who did the interpretation?
That was Saman Salim.
I don't have any further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions of this witness? You may step down, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I need to speak up. Ms. Nagel?
Yes.
Just have a few questions for you. Once again, there are certain known inhibitors that affect the ability to amplify the DNA molecule, correct?
There are, yes.
But there's not very many.
Correct.
Because it's a robust molecule, correct?
Right.
One of the inhibitors is, interestingly enough, the blue dye that we see in things like Levi's, correct?
It can be, yes.
Okay. But it's not something like oil or grease or things like that. The molecule doesn't get broken down by oil and grease and things like that, correct?
Correct.
And if bleach is used on an item that contains DNA and the bleach breaks down the molecule, that molecule will not properly amplify using your filter.
It will still be amplified, but parts of that DNA will probably drop out at the end of it, but there is still usually DNA at the front of that profile.
When you say at the front, you mean that the shorter alleles, after the molecule is broken down, the shorter alleles will amplify, but the longer alleles won't because they were broken down by the bleach.
Correct.
And when you look at the results of their amplification, a trained analyst can see that the longer alleles didn't amplify properly, and they may conclude that something like that particular sample might have been affected by bleach or something like that, correct?
We do not look into what could possibly affect the degradation, but we are capable of seeing the fact that the DNA profile will begin to slowly drop in what is present.
Okay, thank you. One other question. Am I correct in saying that a nanogram is 1/1,000,000th of a gram?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Am I correct in saying that a picogram is 1,000th of a nanogram?
A picogram would be 1/1,000,000th.
And when you're using the quantities that you're using to get the results that you complete in the lab, we are talking about quantities in nanometers.
Yes.
Tiny, tiny amounts, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Any redirect of this witness?
No, Your Honor.
The witness may step down.
Next. Back after back. Back to back. Back. Who's next? Who's next? Shorty. Okay, Shorty. Shorty.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your name and spell your entire name for the record?
My name is Yoli Bregu, Jolibregu.
And what is your educational background?
I have a Bachelor of Science in Biology from Boston University and a Master of Science in Biomedical Forensic Sciences, also from Boston University.
And what is your occupation, ma'am?
I'm a forensic scientist too with the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory in the DNA unit.
And how long have you been there?
Since June 2019.
Can you tell us your responsibilities as a forensic scientist too?
Sure. I perform forensic DNA analysis on evidence samples submitted to the lab. So my typical workday consists on processing those samples in the lab, doing the data interpretation, making comparisons with the reference samples, writing reports, testifying in court as needed. I also do administrative and technical reviews.
And what training have you had for this position?
So in addition to my education during my master's degree, I followed a forensic biology and forensic DNA analysis track. And then when I got hired, I was trained at the Massachusetts State Police, specifically in the DNA unit in forensic DNA analysis. The training consisted on lectures, reading of relevant literature, laboratory experience with practice samples, data interpretation, written and oral exams followed by competency tests.
And did you pass those competency tests?
Yes.
And do you have ongoing training as well?
Yes, we have ongoing training. Every year we are required to take at least 8 hours of continuing education, which is offered in forms of seminars, webinar, workshops. We usually take more because there's more offered through the year. We're also required to read at least one scientific journal article relevant to our field.
And you have to take testing as well?
Yes, we have to take proficiency testing every year. They are taken twice a year.
And have you passed that proficiency testing?
Yes, I have passed the proficiency testing required throughout my employment. The last one is still in the grading process.
And have you testified in court about DNA?
Yes, I have.
Directing your attention to lab number 23-00596, did you do work on item 7-13.1, the sample from area A on the head of the hatchet?
Yes, I did.
And what work did you do on this item?
I performed the fourth step that is used in forensic DNA analysis, which is detection.
And how did you do the detection step of the DNA process?
So I took the samples from the analyst who had done previous work, Emily Oliver. I prepared those samples, mixing them with the required reagents. Then I loaded them in our instrument that does the detection, known as genetic analyzer, and I started the run. And that's where my role ended. After the run is done, the data is saved automatically in the computer and can be imported by the interpreting analyst for data interpretation.
Did you do the interpretation here?
No, I did not.
Who did the interpretation?
Salman Salim.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Make cross-examination of this witness. Go right ahead.
Yes. Yes, you did.
A couple of questions. You're familiar with the term in the context of DNA testing, allele, correct?
Correct, yes.
And the allele is, why don't you just tell the jury?
The allele is a variant of a DNA fragment that is amplified during our third step. So it's a person has two alleles, one they inherit from the mother and one from the father.
Okay. And the allele then is the section of the DNA molecule that is then looked at once you've separated the molecule, and it's the part of the molecule that then gets amplified, correct?
Yes.
And so if you have an allele that repeats at a certain locus on the DNA molecule, then you may be a particular type at that particular location on the molecule, depending on how many repeating alleles you have.
It's how many repeats are within the allele. So the allele itself is the entire fragment, and within that alleles, there are we call them short tandem repeats. There are repeats, they repeat themselves, different numbers for different.
She might be Italian, I'm not sure.
Different individuals, and that's what it's assigned to an allele. How many times the fragment repeats itself within the allele.
And people can have the same repeats of alleles in the molecule, but generally speaking, they don't have the same number of repeating alleles across the molecule, various different loci.
Yes, correct.
And the loci is just plural for locus, right?
Yes, the loci is the location of that particular allele in the DNA molecule.
In the testing that was done in this case, you're using 26 different locations plus the sex area.
Correct, yes.
That's an eligible.
Correct, yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any redirect of this witness? No. The witness may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You, the judge. Days ago, I told you, and I think I read you another stipulation, but I'll remind you, a stipulation is just an agreement between the parties, and I'm going to read you now an agreement that the parties have made. There's a stipulation regarding DNA samples of Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh. Reads as follows. On May 9, 2018, FBI Special Agent Tyler Delorme obtained a DNA sample from Brian Walsh. Special Agent Delorme brought the sample to the FBI headquarters in Boston, where it was placed into evidence storage. Also on May the 9th, 2018, FBI Special Agent Matthew Riportella obtained a DNA sample from Anna Walsh. Special Agent Riportella brought the sample to the FBI headquarters in Boston, where it was also placed into evidence storage. On January 10th, 2023, Special Agent Kristen Koch took the sample of Anna Walsh and the sample of Brian Walsh from evidence storage at the FBI headquarters in Boston and brought both samples to the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab. The samples did not leave the custody of the FBI until Special Agent Koch submitted them to the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab for testing. That's Exhibit E for identification. Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Karen Jacobson.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you will give in the cause now and hearing to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Right this way. Just step on me. Further.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please give us your name and spell your name for the record?
My name is Karen Jacobson. That's Karin Jacobsen.
And if I could just ask you to pull that microphone a little closer to you. Thank you.
Sure.
What is your occupation, ma'am?
I'm currently employed as a forensic scientist 2 within the DNA unit at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory.
And how long have you been there?
Since August of 2021.
And what are your duties?
I'm responsible for receiving items of evidence associated with known individuals, taking them through the 4-step DNA process, and making those DNA profiles available for use in comparisons.
And what is your educational background?
I have both a Bachelor's of Science in Forensic Science and a Master's of Science in Forensic Science from Bowling Green State University.
And do you have specialized training to be a DNA analyst?
Yes, I do.
And can you tell us about that training?
The training program within the DNA unit is at least 6 months long. It consists of lectures covering all of our protocols, literature readings covering current and historic methodologies, laboratory processing of at least 50 mock samples, and all of this is wrapped up with a competency test.
And did you pass your competency test?
Yes, I did.
And have you also had ongoing training?
Yes, I have.
And as part of your ongoing training, do you have proficiency testing?
Yes, I do.
And have you passed your proficiency training?
Yes, I have.
I want to ask you about lab number 23-00596. Did you do work on this case?
Yes, I did.
And what work did you do on this case?
The DNA testing process is 4 steps long. I performed the 2nd step and the 4th step for 2 items.
Ashley, what's
And
up?
what were those items?
These were items 13-1.1 and 13-2.1.
And what were those?
These were the DNA saliva collection kits for Anna Walshe and Brian Walshe, respectively.
Okay. So how did you do the step 2? That be the quantification step?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about that, please.
In the 2nd step, quantification, I received a portion of the extract created in the 1st step. I applied a set of chemicals to it and put it on an instrument that goes through cycles of heating and cooling, and this produces an estimate of the amount of human and male DNA present within each sample.
And did you use equipment?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what was that?
This is a 7500 real-time PCR machine.
And who had done the previous step?
The previous step was performed by Katarina Stashin.
Okay. And why didn't you do that step?
We batch our samples in the laboratory processing for the sake of efficiency.
Okay. And then when did you become involved again in this process for these samples?
I then performed the 4th step, separation and detection.
Okay. And can you please tell this jury how you did that 4th step?
So the same person, Katarina Stashin, performed the 3rd step. I received the product produced in the 3rd step from her. I applied another set of chemicals to it and put it on an instrument that separates each of the copies of the DNA by size. And then with the help of some special software, it turns it into a visual representation of the DNA profile.
And did you use any equipment?
Yes, I did.
And what equipment did you use?
This was a 3500 genetic analyzer.
Okay. And then what is the data next ready for in the process?
After the data is reviewed, it's ready for use in comparisons.
Okay. And who did the interpretation and comparison here?
In this case, it was Katarina Stashin as well.
And did you do any other work on these samples?
No, I did not.
I have no further questions.
Cross-exam? The witness may step down. Thank you.
What's that?
Commonwealth may call its next witness.
The Commonwealth would call Katarina Stashin. Your Honor.
Katarina.
Good afternoon. Can you please state your name and spell your whole name for the record?
Good afternoon. My name is Katarina Stashin. First name is spelled Katarina. Last name is spelled Stashin.
And What is your current occupation, ma'am?
Katerina.
I'm currently a criminalist in the biology section at the Washoe County Sheriff's Office Crime Lab located in Reno, Nevada.
And can you please detail your work history as it applies to forensic sciences?
I was previously a forensic scientist in the DNA unit at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory for about 3.5 years, from 2021 to earlier this year, 2025, when I got the opportunity to move back to Nevada to be closer to family and pursue a job still as a DNA analyst.
And what is your educational background?
I have a bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology from the University of Nevada, Reno.
And do you have any specialized training to be a DNA analyst?
Yes, I received training at both the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab and at my current job in Washoe County. In Massachusetts, I completed an approximately 1-year-long training program that consisted of reading scientific protocols, scientific literature, textbooks, all on the topics of forensic DNA analysis. I also took written exams and oral exams on those topics. I also practiced sets in the lab, both for laboratory processing and for DNA interpretation, put together practice case files, wrote reports, did comparisons, and all of that training completed with a competency test, of which I passed. And then at Washoe County, I completed an approximately 6-month-long training course due to my experience, where I also did review of scientific literature, textbooks, protocols, practice sets, writing practice reports, performing comparisons or interpretation, et cetera. And that also completed with a competency test, of which I passed.
And have you also had proficiency testing?
Yes, I have also completed proficiency testing.
And have you passed those tests as well?
Yes, I have passed all competency and proficiency testing that I've taken so far.
And have you testified in Massachusetts about DNA?
Yes, I have.
So what is a single source DNA profile?
A single source DNA profile is a profile that originates from one person or one contributor. And you can identify this in a profile. Just by looking at the profile, you can see how many people are in there.
And what is a known standard?
A known standard is a sample that's taken directly from an individual. For example, a sample from somebody's mouth, a saliva swab, or a blood sample. It's taken directly from a person to be used for comparison purposes.
And how is a known standard developed into a DNA profile?
A known standard will go through the four-step laboratory process to result in a DNA profile that can then be used for comparisons.
And the four-step process is what?
The four-step laboratory process for DNA analysis is extraction, quantification, amplification, and detection.
So prior to doing any work, how do you prepare your work area?
So when you first get into the lab to do any of those steps, you're going to clean your lab bench. So that involves using a bleach spray to wipe down your area. You're going to clean all of the equipment, utensils, your pens, pipettes, any equipment that you're using. And then me as a person or any lab analyst, you'll be wearing a lab coat, a face mask, a hairnet. You're in full PPE, wearing gloves, changing gloves frequently.
Why do you clean your area and wear PPE?
We do this just to keep everything perfectly clean, or the cleanest that we can, just to help the integrity of the evidence and help produce the best possible profile.
Now I'm going to direct your attention to Massachusetts Case Lab 23-00596. Did you do work on this case?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do on the known standards in this case?
I performed the sample prep, the extraction, and the amplification on the known standards in this case.
And did you also do interpretation on this case?
Good one, Kat Randall.
Yes, I also reviewed the profiles that were obtained from that process and made sure they were able to be used for comparison purposes.
So I want to ask you about each of the things that you just told us about. So were you working on 13-1 and 13-2? Is that correct?
Correct.
And what were those?
Those were the known saliva standards for both Anna Walsh and Brian Walsh.
And so what was 13-1?
13-1 was the known saliva standard for Anna Walsh.
And what was 13-2?
13-2 was the known saliva standard for Brian Walsh.
And how did you do the sample prep for 13-1?
So both of these samples were known saliva samples, so a swab from the mouth, and I just cut up the swab and placed the cotton part of the swab into a tube, a labeled tube with those item numbers that I said.
Okay, so that's what you did for 13-1, and then did you give it another number?
So once I cut that swab off, it then became 13-1.1.
And so did you do the same thing for 13-2?
Yes. So then the cotton that got cut off of the whole swab became 13-2.1.
And then after you did that sample prep, what did you next do?
Then those samples went through the extraction step of the process.
And how did you do the extraction step?
So extraction consists of adding chemicals to the samples and going through heat variation to help break open the cells present in the sample and release the DNA that is present, and then that DNA is isolated.
And did you use equipment for that?
Yes.
What equipment?
An incubator was used for that heat variation that I mentioned, and an Easy One robot was used for the extraction part, meaning that after it sat in the incubator with the chemicals to break open the cells, a robot is used to isolate that DNA from the rest of the cellular debris left behind.
So you told us about sample prep and step 1. Did you do the next step, step 2?
No.
Why not?
It's just based on scheduling at the lab who was assigned to do what step that day.
And who did that next step?
The second step of quantification was performed by Karen Jacobson.
Were you qualified to do all of the steps?
Yes.
And so what did you next do?
I next did the amplification step, that third step I mentioned.
And how did you perform the amplification step?
So amplification is the third step, and this is when we make millions and millions of copies of certain fragments of DNA. So this is done by, again, adding certain chemicals and going through heat cycles to make these many millions of copies of DNA, because we're usually working with a smaller amount of DNA. You need to make a lot of copies to make it visual and able to be detected.
Did you use equipment?
Yes.
What equipment?
We use what is called a thermal cycler, and this is the instrument that performs those heat cycles needed to make the copies.
So did you do the next step, the fourth step?
No.
Who did that?
Karen Jacobson also performed the fourth step of detection.
So then what did you do next?
So after that full laboratory process was completed, I looked at the data that was produced from those 4 steps, and both items resulted with DNA profiles that I reviewed and made sure were acceptable to be used for DNA comparisons.
And could you visualize a single source?
Yes.
And did you generate a DNA profile for Anna Walshe?
Yes.
And did you generate a DNA profile for Brian Walshe?
Yes.
And were profile sources developed that were appropriate for comparison?
Yes, the profiles developed were acceptable to be used for comparisons.
And they were both single sources?
Yes.
What does appropriate for comparison mean?
When I'm saying appropriate for comparison, I mean that the profile is full, as in data is obtained at every location that was tested, and that it is single source.
And what do you do with the profiles?
That profile is then made into a text file that is made available for the analyst that's going to be doing the comparisons.
And were the profiles assigned a number to identify them?
Yes, so the numbers for the profiles are the same as their item number. So the text file profile for Anna Walshe also had the number of 13-1.1, and the text file profile for Brian Walshe was 13-2.1.
If I might have 1 second, Your Honor.
You may.
1 second, you're up. Time's up.
Nothing further.
Cross-exam. The witness may step down. Thank you.
Cross?
Thank you all.
Oh my God, horrible. No cross. I'm getting something to drink. I'll be right back, guys.
The judge will take our lunch
Everybody
break
go
now.
grab a drink.
All rise for the pledge, please.
Eggnog.
Here's William. Won't you follow me?
Does anyone need anything?
There you are.
Anything from the defense?
Nope.
No set? Very good.
We're going to lunch? They went to lunch? Oh. They went to lunch break. All right. Let's fast forward. No lunch breaks here. I don't got time for lunch break, boys and girls. Let's get back into it.
You work as a forensic scientist. You work as a forensic scientist 3. You work as a forensic scientist. You work as a forensic. You work as a forensic scientist 3.
Come on, lady.
All rise for the court, please.
Commonwealth would call some. Thank you.
There we go.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your full name and spelling your name?
My name is Saman Salim, S-A-M-A-N. Last name is S-A-L-E-E-M.
And could you please tell us your educational background?
I have a bachelor's degree from Boston College in biochemistry and a master's of science in forensic science from Boston University.
And what is your occupation, ma'am?
I currently work as a forensic scientist 3 at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Lab within the DNA unit.
And what is a forensic scientist 3?
A forensic scientist 3 is a supervisory position within the DNA unit where I manage other analysts, forensic scientist 1 and 2, that work within the DNA unit.
So how many people do you supervise?
I supervise 6 people
Move
currently.
on.
Individual piece of data that you looked at with each individual.
More likely to observe this DNA profile if it originated from Anna Walsh than if it did not, and 2 other individuals than if it originated from 3 unknown, unrelated individuals. The likelihood ratio is a statistical calculation that shows us how likely it is to observe a DNA profile given two propositions. One, that the person would be included in the DNA profile, or the other, that the person is excluded or not included in the DNA profile. And the value of that likelihood ratio can tell us which of these propositions is more likely to observe this DNA profile given either of these propositions.
So how do you calculate the likelihood ratio?
That is calculated using a software known as STRmix or StarMix. And in that software, we use calculations that we derive from the
Fast forward. Let's go.
Profile of Anna Walsh.
Yes, the DNA profile is at least 30 nonillion times more likely if it originated from Anna Walsh than if it originated from an unknown, unrelated individual, and this provides support for an inclusion.
Okay.
Were you able to come to a conclusion
Guilty.
about the comparison to the known profile of
guilty.
Brian Walsh?
Brian Walsh is excluded from this single source female DNA profile.
What does that mean?
So the single source DNA profile is probably the easiest ones for us to do a comparison because we should be able to see if the single source profile we have from the evidence matches the one profile we have from our known standard or the reference we have. So when I say somebody's excluded, it means that the 2 profiles don't match each other.
What is item 9-32.5.1?
And that is a sample from stain D on the interior right sleeve of the Tyvek suit.
And is this the same Tyvek suit as discussed with items 3 and 4 that we previously discussed?
Yes.
But is this a different stain?
Yes.
And what was the DNA profile result for this item?
The DNA profile was interpreted as a mixture of 2 contributors, including male DNA.
And were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Anna Walsh?
The DNA profile from this item is at least 110 sextillion times more likely if it originated from Anna Walsh and an unknown individual than if it originated from 2 unknown, unrelated individuals, and this provides support for an inclusion.
And what is sextillion?
A sextillion is 1 followed by 21 zeros.
I'm sorry.
21 zeros.
Thank you. Were you able to come to a conclusion about the comparison to the known profile of Brian Walsh?
Yes, the DNA profile from this item is estimated to be 6 times more likely if it originated from 2 unrelated individuals than if it originated from Brian Walsh and an unknown individual. This provides limited support for an exclusion. Similar to before, the MSPCL DNA unit validation studies have shown that exclusions for the inverse likelihood ratio range of 2 to 1,000 have shown known contributors could be excluded, and adventitious support could be attributed to this conclusion.
So what is limited support for exclusion?
So it's very similar to the inclusion one I described in our validation studies. We also looked at profiles where since we knew who those mixtures were made of, those individuals, we would compare this to those individuals. And when there's limited data available, again, for comparison for one or more of the contributors in a mixture profile, the statistic would be lower, but it's on the exclusion side.
All right, guilty. All right, next person. Next witness on board.
Good afternoon, sir.
Next.
Good afternoon.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Sure. It's Michael Roddy, R-O-D-D-Y.
And where do you work, sir?
I work for Home Goods.
And what do you do for Home Goods?
I'm a district loss prevention manager.
And can you tell us what is Home Goods?
It's the place you go when you want to buy stuff for your home.
Okay. So I take it by buying stuff for your home, it's a retail store.
It is.
Okay. Now, Home Goods, is it part of a larger corporation or umbrella of stores?
It is. It falls under TJX, which also has TJ Maxx, Marshalls, HomeSense, and Sierra.
And how long have you been with Home Goods, sir?
Home Goods itself, 9 years, TJX 19.
And can you tell us about your responsibilities for Home Goods?
Sure. At the core, it's really protecting the assets of the company and the business.
And so how many, do you have a geographic region that you're responsible for?
I do. I cover 11 locations.
And of those 11 locations, are you familiar with a location in Norwell?
I am.
What location does Home Goods have in Norwell?
It's store number 122 in Norwell. I believe it's on Washington.
Norwell.
And that store in Norwell, are there any other TJX properties in that same plaza?
There's TJ Maxx right next to it. Same plaza.
Now, sir, are you familiar with surveillance videos that were turned over by Home Goods in this matter?
I am.
And have you had the chance to review them prior to coming to court today?
I have.
Have they been altered in any way?
They have not.
Now, sir, Home Goods, does it maintain its surveillance videos in good faith?
It does.
And does it do so in the normal course of business?
It does.
And when it's surveillance videos, I take it they're recorded digitally, correct?
They are.
So when they're recorded, they're going to a server?
They do.
And who has access to the server of surveillance
Paxton,
videos?
baby.
Myself, direct reports of mine, and home office loss prevention.
Bill
Ron, may I
Paxton.
approach?
You may.
Paxton.
Mr. Roddy, do you recognize this thumb drive I'm showing you?
I do.
Did you have the opportunity to review the videos from this thumb drive?
I did.
And did they have videos from the Norwell Home Goods store for January 2nd and January 4th?
Yes, they do.
The Commonwealth would seek to have this drive for the Home Goods surveillance videos for January 2nd and 4th marked as the next exhibit.
Any objection to that?
No.
I believe we're at 251, is that correct, Madam Court Reporter? That thumb drive is now admitted into evidence, the Home Goods Norwell thumb drive.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, with the court's permission, could the Commonwealth publish videos from the drive?
Yes, you may.
So, Ms. Gilman, could we have the first video for January 2nd of entrance? And if you could pause right there, Ms. Gilman.
Miss Gilman.
Mr. Roddy, what is it that we're looking at here?
Come on, Miss Gilman.
This is the camera. It's a public view monitor. When you walk into the building, this is the one you can see yourself on.
Now, Mr. Roddy, the date and time at the bottom for Home Goods, are those accurate or are they off in any way?
No, those are accurate.
Ms. Gilman, if you could press play.
Uh-oh, here we go. What store is that? Target? Is that Target, guys? Look at them.
Ms. Gilman, could we have the second video register home? And
Home
Mr.
Goods.
Roddy, where is this in the store in Norwell?
Home Goods.
So that is the front in our queue line. It's another public view
Goods store,
monitor
guys.
as you're
Home
walking
Goods
towards the
store.
registers.
And when you say queue line, so are there items for sale in this line?
There are, yes.
The best cameras. Great cameras, I know, right? Is he Christmas shopping? What is he doing? Christmas decorations? Well, they can zoom in on it. Hey, zooming in. The shopper. He's such a nice shopper.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could stop for the record, we're stopping at 1 minute and 16 seconds on the media player. And Ms. Gilman, could you go to the third video, purchase home? Mr. Roddy, where is this in the store?
That is the register. I believe it's register number 8, and it's a camera right above the registers behind them.
Buying a lot of stuff. He ain't playing. 75% off after Christmas? I bet. He's lonely.
Ms. Gilman, if you could close out of that video and bring us to the fourth one. And pause if you could. Mr. Roddy, where is this in the Norwell store?
So that is an exit mullion. It's in the vestibule between both sets of doors to go outside.
Ms. Gilman, if you could press play, please.
No. I don't want to press play.
And Mr. Roddy, what is the time upon exit? If you need to see it again, we could just bring it back up.
Yes, please.
Ms. Gilman, if you could.
No, I can't.
What is the time upon exit for the record?
9:48 and 2 seconds.
And it's January 2nd?
January 2nd.
Your Honor, may the Commonwealth approach?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may.
Mr. Roddy, you recognize this document I'm handing to you?
I do.
What is this?
This is a receipt for a purchase on January 2nd.
Does Home Goods maintain its receipts in good faith?
It does.
Normal course of business?
Yes.
And I take it it's generated at the point that the sale occurs?
Correct, once it's completed.
And this was also turned over to law enforcement in January 2023?
It was.
The Commonwealth would seek to have the receipt from January 2nd marked, this receipt from January 2nd at Home Goods as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Any objection? The home goods receipt from January the 2nd is now in evidence as 252.
No objections.
Your Honor, may the Commonwealth publish 252?
You may.
Thank you. Mr. Roddy, I have some questions about 252, Exhibit 252. At the top, it says TJX. Is that generated internally, or is that what's given to the customer?
That is internally.
And so the customer would get a Home Goods at the top?
It would say Home Goods, correct.
And store 280122, is that the Norwell store we're talking about?
Yes, that's the Norwell location.
And now, sir, what does POS 8 mean, POS 8?
That is register number 8, point of sale.
And then cashier, the number, and then there's a name underneath it. What is the significance of that?
The cashier number is the identifier to the associate who's ringing the register.
And sir, are you familiar with the codes with the S underneath them next to the items?
Yes, those are the department numbers.
What is the 35 significant of, S35?
Department 35 is our candle department.
And going further down, what is S75 significant of?
Those are rolled rugs.
What was the total for the sale, sir?
Total's $245.35.
And how was it transacted? Was it cash or charge?
It looks like 2 store value cards were used.
What are store value cards? I'm sorry, I was interrupting you.
No, those are just, they're cards. They work just like a gift card would work, same thing.
And if we could scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a date and time.
Yes, January 2nd, 2023, 9:44 and 36 seconds in the AM.
So keeping this up on the redemption area, you had mentioned there are store value cards?
Yes.
So with these store value card numbers, were you able to track down when these cards were issued and where?
Yes, we were.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Mr. Roddy, I'm showing you a document. Do you recognize that?
Yes, it's another receipt.
It's another receipt, but is it from Home Goods in Norwell?
It is not. It's from Marshall's.
And this Marshall's receipt, what does it have to do with the store value cards?
So this looks like a return without a receipt at a Marshall's in Maryland. So when a return is done without a receipt, the customer receives a store value card, store credit.
And on this receipt, does it denote the last 4 digits of the store value card?
It does.
And so, sir, understanding that, do they bear any similarity to the redemption cards used on your on this receipt that was done on January 2nd?
Yes, it does. On here, it shows the last four is 0256, which matched the purchase receipt.
And as a result of being a member of the TGX umbrella, are you able to get access to the marshal's receipts to find out which card was issued and corresponding to the redemption that was done on January 2nd?
Yes, we can see each brand.
And this is the card that was issued, that was one of the two cards that was issued to do that redemption.
Correct.
The Commonwealth would seek to have this receipt from Marshall's as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Any objection? The marshal's receipt. Is there a date on that so I can identify it for the record?
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize. The Marshall's receipt, sir, before I get the date wrong, can you just?
It is December 28th, 2022.
Thank you.
Marshall's receipt from December 28th, 2022 is now in evidence as Exhibit 253.
Your Honor, may I publish Exhibit 253, the Marshall receipt from, it's labeled Baltimore receipt.
You may.
Thank you. Mr. Roddy, what's been marked as 253, where is the location of the Marshalls?
It shows it's in Baltimore, Maryland.
And this is the type of receipt a customer would receive, right? Because it doesn't have the TGX brand at the top?
Correct.
And what is the name of the customer?
Anna Walsh.
And could we scroll all the way down to the bottom? Pause, I'm sorry. So in there's issue of merchandise credit. Is that the card that you were speaking of?
It is.
Okay. And could we go all the way down to the bottom? And sir, can you tell us what you see as far as the date and time for the receipt?
Yes, it's December 28th, 2022. And the time is 4:30 p.m.
So, sir, that was for one of the two cards ending in 0256. Were you able to find an additional receipt that corresponded to the second card?
Yes.
And before I go any further, did that card end in 4563?
It did.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Sir, do you see this document?
I do.
Is this a TGX receipt that corresponds to the issuance of the card we were just talking about as far as the second redemption card?
It does.
And again, these are kept in the normal course of business and in good faith?
Yes, they are.
The Commonwealth will seek to have this receipt marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor. This would be Washington, D.C. receipt. And can you tell me what type of store this is for? It says TGX at the top.
This one is TJX. That one I couldn't be positive about.
You can just tell me it's a TGX store, but you can't tell me the brand.
Exactly, correct.
But mark this as the TGX Washington, D.C. receipt, Your Honor.
There's a date on that one?
Mr. Roddy, can you tell us if there's a date on this one?
There is. Also, it's December 28th, 2022.
Thank you.
Any objection? The Washington DC TJX receipt 12/28/22 is in evidence as 254.
Your Honor, may I publish Exhibit 254, the Washington, D.C. receipt?
You may.
Thank you. Mr. Roddy, where is the location of this store that issued the card?
It is Washington, D.C.
And if we could scroll down, Ms. Gilman, how much was the card for? How much was issued as far as a card?
$216.44.
And what are the last four digits of the card?
4563.
And if we could continue to scroll down, where it says returned refund, is there a date as far as what is the December 2nd date that we're looking at opposed to a December 28th date?
The December 2nd date would be the date of the original purchase of the merchandise being refunded.
And so the date at the bottom, December 28th, is when the refund was actually issued.
Correct.
You can take that down, Ms. Gilman.
Come on, Ms.
Now,
Gilman.
sir, you also had the opportunity to review videos from January 4th. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that is also what's already been marked into evidence. And at this point in time, Your Honor, I would seek to publish videos from January 4th, Norwell Home Goods Store.
Is that on the same thumb drive?
Same thumb drive, Your Honor.
251?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may publish it.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Gilman, can we have the first video for January 4th?
Thank you, Your Honor. Knew it. Knew it.
And pause, Ms. Gilman. Sir, Mr.
He's such a handsome shopper. Look. Look. A handsome shopper, look. Let me go get my carriage and go over here. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Hey, how you guys doing today?
And-
Hello.
Pause, Ms. Gilman. Sir, Mr. Roddy, where is this in the store?
That is the public view monitor again at the entrance.
And looking at the bottom of the image, can you see a date and time?
Again,
Can you tell us what the date and time is?
it is 9:57 a.m. on January 4th, 2023.
Ms. Gilman, could we have the second video? Mr. Roddy, what view are we looking at here, sir?
Right, guys?
This
ready,
is
guys?
another register view right behind the registers.
Yeah. There you go. Checking out again. Yeah, he buys a lot of stuff, man. He's like, fuck my wife is dead. I'm going shopping. Wow. Incredible. Incredible. My wife is dead. Who cares? I'm going shopping. What a prick. What a prick. Prick. He's a prick. He just shops a lot, man. Let me fast forward. I'm fast forwarding.
Mr. Roddy, what part of the store is this?
That is the exit mullion again in the vestibule between the two doors.
And if you could pause, Ms. Gilman?
Bye.
What is the date and time on the video? And for the record, we're at 7 seconds on the media player.
We're shopping again.
It is 10:07 a.m. on January 4th, 2023.
If you could press play, Ms. Gilman. Thank you, Ms. Gilman. Mr. Roddy, were you able to produce a receipt for this transaction?
What
Yes.
a prick.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
What a prick.
Mr. Roddy, is this receipt also maintained the same way that the other Norwell Home Goods receipt is maintained?
Yes,
And does this receipt correspond to the transaction for that video?
it does.
And what is the date on this receipt?
January 4th, 2023.
And at the top, this says TZX, so is that an internally produced receipt opposed to what a customer would see?
It is.
The Commonwealth would seek to have this as the next exhibit, Your Honor, January 4th receipt from Norwell Home Goods.
Any objection? The receipt from 1/4/23 from the Norwell Home Goods is now in evidence as 255.
What a prick.
Your Honor, if I may publish 255, the January 4th receipt. from Home
You may.
Goods. Thank you.
You may do it. Please
Mr.
do
Roddy,
so.
Mr. Roddy, I have similar questions. Going down the receipt to the body of the goods purchased, what is the significance of 36?
36 is our towel department.
And what is the significance of 68?
68 is our bath mats or bath rugs.
And going down to the bottom of the receipt, sir, how is this transaction negotiated?
It looks like there was 2 SVCs, 2 credits used.
And was one of them the 4563 that you previously testified about?
It is.
And going down to the bottom of the, is there a date and time on the receipt?
There is January 4th, 2023 at 10:05 a.m.
And you said there was a second SVC card. Were you able to find the receipt or the transaction for that in the TGX systems that issued that second card ending in 4481?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Thank you. Mr. Roddy, do you recognize this receipt?
I do.
Is this from a Marshall's store?
It is.
And does this receipt show the issuance of the card that you just mentioned, the second card used to transact the sale?
Yes, it does.
And what was the date that this transaction occurred that issued the card?
It was December 8th, 2022.
And where was the store, where was the Marshalls located?
Hingham, Mass.
The Commonwealth would seek to have the Hingham Marshalls in December, what was the date again, sir?
12/8/22. Any objection?
You get receipts?
The 12/8/22 Marshall's receipt is in evidence as
Receipts for what?
256.
Your beer, Ashley?
Your Honor, may I publish 256?
You may.
Thank you. Sir, looking at this, what is the address for the Marshalls?
400 Lincoln Street in Hingham, Massachusetts.
And the initial transaction date is what, sir?
The original was December 2nd, 2022.
And going down, sir, what is the first, understanding this is not your store, so you don't know 23s, next to the item, what is the description of the item that was purchased?
Men's Best Brand.
And then the second item that was purchased?
Children's toys.
Now, sir, going down if we could. Amount due to customer is what, sir?
$155.91.
And there is a merchandise credit number ending in what, sir?
4481.
And going down, sir, going down, Ms. Gilman, all the way to the bottom, the date for it is what, sir?
December 8th, 2022.
Okay, December 8th. I'm sorry, I might have heard you as December 28th, my bad. Now, sir, on this receipt, is there a name for the customer?
If we go up. So on this one, it is a return with receipt where we don't need ID to process those.
So there's no customer name at the top like there was in the prior ones?
There is not.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
Any cross?
Yes, thank you, Judge.
Go right ahead.
Questions? Regarding these cards, the last couple of cards you just told the jury about. So am I right to just say that, or to suggest that there was some purchases made in or around the Maryland, D.C. area at some point in December?
Yes, I'd have to see it again. I'm not sure if it was a purchase or a return.
Okay, purchase or return. But there was a transaction.
Yes.
And then whoever transacted that transaction, it's not a very good way to put it, but whoever did that, they eventually got some store credit that was applied to that card, right?
Correct.
And then they walk out of the store with that card, right?
Correct.
And then that card, of course, finds its way down to Massachusetts, and that card is eventually used in Massachusetts sometime around January of 2023, correct?
Correct.
Nothing unusual about that if a family is trading cards back and forth, correct?
Correct.
Did the Commonwealth, the state of Massachusetts here, did they ever ask you to try to get video of those transactions that occurred in December, for instance, from those Washington area?
From myself, it wasn't home goods, so not from myself. If it was from a Marshall's or TJ's district loss prevention manager, I'm unsure.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
The witness may step down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
We're going to suspend there for today.
We're done for today?
Today.
Wow.
I bring you some updates with regard to the schedule. Tomorrow, I'm going to have you return to the courtroom an hour later because I don't want you waiting around for me. I need to attend to other matters that don't require your attention, and so I don't want you waiting around for me to be cleared. So you get a little extra time for yourself tomorrow morning. Be here for a 10 a.m. start. I expect, although I don't really know for sure, but based on what I now know, I expect that we may finish the evidence tomorrow early. So you may have a shortened day tomorrow. I just tell you these things to keep you as best informed so things don't come as a surprise to you. They happen that way, right? So that's the update on the schedule for tomorrow. I wish for you all a good night. And while you have
All right, this is day 8. Let's go to day 8.
Your responsibility.
This is day 8, guys.
Your Honor, Your Honor, in the matter of the Commonwealth versus Brian Walshe, criminal indictment 2023-0091, continuation of jury trial. Defendants present in court with counsel. Counsel starting with Commonwealth. Kindly identify yourselves once again for the court and the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Greg Connor for the Commonwealth.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ann Yaz for the Commonwealth.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tracy Houston for the Commonwealth.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, everyone. Kelly Porges on behalf of Mr. Walsh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. Larry Gibson for Mr. Walsh.
Right. Madam Clerk, before I lose these, on the record, I'm handing you back these to each other. I'm going to have marked for identification the information I asked from the parties this morning. I've just handwritten on whose is whose, so that can be marked as the next step. I think it might be N for identification, the first 2 pages that I asked for both of the parties.
Oh, you want them both to be N?
They can go together. It's my handwriting on the top as to whose is who. All right, do we need to discuss anything before we bring Mr. Mutlu in?
I have a few things that I would like to discuss. It could be after Mr. Mutlu, but there are a few things before the jury comes in that I would like to discuss about witnesses that I'm going to be doing directs of today.
All right, why don't we discuss that now?
Thank you. Could we see you at the side of the bench?
Oh, sure.
Thank you very much.
All right. Sorry. Let me fast forward. On the record. I'm putting something on the record. I don't know what they're doing. We're back now.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you shall give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, so help you God, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
That was a bazillion more times more interesting than these witnesses. Cat Randall, what are you referring to, Cat Randall? Rich, I had a productive day. I got my man cave toilet fixed. Hey, awesome! Now you can take a leak in your man cave again. Welcome back and congratulations.
Just step up. Just watch your step. Slide this chair underneath. You can have a seat. Thank you.
Man,
you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Excellent, we can hear you. I'm just going to ask if you can keep that microphone reasonably close to you, sir. Can you please spell your first and last name for the record?
Sure. It's officially spelled C-E-M, last name M-U-T-L-U. I also spell it with a G, G-E-M.
And can you state your name for us, sir?
Jem Mutlu.
And, sir, right now I'd like to just focus on asking you some questions about a conversation you had with Anna Walsh on December 29th of 2000.
This guy is good, Cat Randall?
2022. Why did you call her that day? Why did you two talk that day?
I called her to congratulate her on her closing.
And how long was the conversation?
I believe it was about 45 minutes.
And besides congratulating her on the closing, what else did the two of you talk about?
We caught up as friends. We talked about plans and also her life at the time, how she was feeling. And yeah, we caught up on a number of things.
Okay, so what did she tell you about her life at the time?
That what I got from it was that there were some issues, marital issues included. And yeah, and that I told her, I said, I don't want you to be too strong. Have you considered therapy? And she said yes.
Okay. What is your memory of what she said as far as marital issues? And not your feeling, but what you remember the conversation to be, sir.
Sure. Part of it was that she was going back and forth from DC, which was taking a toll on her. And the fact that that Brian had not been able to leave Massachusetts, so the children were here. And that was a huge burden on her psyche. And that, there were other issues. I don't recall with precision as to what they were. I do recall making I do recall clearly making a mental note to say, this is going to be a much longer conversation, face-to-face, together, and a conversation obviously we never had an opportunity to have.
Okay, so within that conversation, when she had discussions with you about marital issues, it was, I want to make sure that we've got this right, the difficulty of traveling, was that it, one of them, for work?
The fact that she was not seeing the children frequently.
All right, so that's more accurate, and I don't want to misstate what you're saying, sir.
That's correct.
Not seeing the children, and was also another part of it that Brian couldn't leave Massachusetts.
That's correct.
And I don't want to put words in your mouth, sir. I want to make sure that I'm getting your memory of the conversation. Is that what your memory of the conversation is?
Well, my memory of the conversation is that they had marital issues and that she was seeking counseling for all the difficulties in her life, including marital issues.
Okay.
And I encouraged her to do the same because she's a very strong person. And yet I specifically remember telling her, I don't want you to be too strong.
Okay. And within the marital issues, did she say specifically what the marital issues were?
No.
I don't recall going into detail during that conversation. There was another conversation we had in the summer. I remember that the parts of that conversation, that was almost a 2-hour-long conversation. I was in Puerto Rico at the time.
Puerto Rico.
And she and I had a lengthy conversation at that time. She said that that Brian's art fraud case was taking its toll, that attorney fees were piling up, and that there was a lot of strain financially, a lot of difficulty, and
Okay, but more to the point of December 29th, I'm going to ask you again.
Yeah.
Did she say anything in the December 29th conversation with you about Brian not being able to leave Massachusetts?
Come on,
I don't recall with precision. I recall the feeling of it. I do not recall with precision as to whether those words in particular were spoken.
Certainly. And do you have any memory of when she discussed marital problems with you on December 29th, any issues of not seeing the children, of her stating that?
Again, I do not recall with precision what words were spoken.
Okay.
That was the gist of a lot of her problems.
Okay. So when you say that's the gist, is that the gist from the December 29th conversation, or is that your understanding of her overall problems?
I believe it's both.
Okay. All right. So now I want to ask you about New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve, did you see Anna texting at all?
I did.
And from what you know of New Year's Eve, not from what people told you afterwards, do you know who she was texting to?
Yeah. That I recall, I believe she was texting Abdullah. I believe she was texting Will Festo. And I believe she may have been texting Emily, a mutual friend.
Sexting or texting?
And other people were texting her. It was New Year's Eve, so there was a lot of back and forth texting. Yeah.
And how do you know this from New Year's Eve? What did you experience, see, or what did you experience on New Year's Eve that lets you know this?
I was sitting right next to her at the kitchen table.
And did she ever say, now the three of, did you ever
Kitchen counter.
Kitchen counter.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
Stools on the counter there?
Yes, there were stools on the counter.
And were you and Anna seated on
On the same side, on the same side. I was seated here and she was to my left,
directly side by side?
directly side by side.
Did she ever show you her phone that night? When she was sitting with you there?
She had her phone with her. She took a picture of us that night. Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Thank you. With the picture, do you remember who she sent it to that night? Not, and this is what I'm really going to focus you, sir, is that night, not what people told you afterwards. Do you have a memory of who she may have sent the picture you took with her that night?
I believe that she said, let's take a picture and send it to Will Festo.
And, sir.
Out loud, she said that?
I believe so. I believe she said that to me that night. Let's take a picture out loud. Yes, let's take a picture and send it to Will Festo. Again, I do not remember it with precision, but I do remember the picture being taken. Yeah.
And sir, is it fair to say that along the lines of that statement, you told that to me yesterday at lunch? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Had you told me that before, to your memory?
I do not recall.
Okay. And on New Year's Eve, did you have any conversations with Anna about marital problems?
No,
Did you have any conversations with Brian about marital problems?
no.
And I think that that covers the subject matter of the Walshe. So I have no further questions at this point in time.
Good
Thank you.
morning. You had just mentioned a conversation that you had with Ms. Walsh on the 29th of December.
Yes,
If I could just have you lean into that mic so we can hear you.
sure.
And during that conversation, you told us that she mentioned, I think it was difficult to be away from her kids.
I believe so, yes.
And I think you said at one point that it was difficult to travel back and forth.
I believe so. I mean, those are things that I knew about her anyway. We're very close friends.
Well, let me just stop you. When you say those were things you knew about her anyway,
Yes.
what we're trying to do is focus you on things that she told you herself during that conversation. So as you sit here right now, do you have a memory of specifically what she told you herself on that 12:29 phone call?
I do not remember everything that was said during a 45-minute conversation with Anna that night.
So let me just jump in here for a second. You had a conversation with Anna Walshe on December 29th, 2022.
I did.
And you remember the conversation was about 45 minutes long.
That's correct.
So what I want you to distinguish between, sir, is you don't have to remember the exact words that she used these years later, but you have to have a memory that she actually said what you're discussing, as opposed to this feeling, this gist. You have a memory that she, even if you don't remember the exact words, that she did discuss with you, for instance, what counsel just said, this idea of being troubled by not seeing the children.
So, again, shortly after, I discussed, I explained over a 2.5 hour statement to Detective Harrison what I remembered because it was all fresh. And that testimony you do have. What I do not remember.
I assume you reviewed that in connection with your testimony here today?
I'm sorry?
Have you reviewed your prior statements to the
I have not.
All right.
No, I have not. I have not. So it's been 3 years, and that's why some of the very words that were spoken, I do not remember. I do remember very specifically having made a mental note to say, she has told me that there are marital issues, that she is seeking counseling, that it's been hard on her, and that this gets to be a much longer conversation. So I made that note, and I was going to reach out to her after the New Year's Eve event to schedule a time in person to speak about those issues.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You used the term marital issues. When you first started talking to us this morning, you stated what I got from the conversation. And you had told us that, you were close with Anna, right?
Yes, very close.
So when you say that you got from her, was it just your feeling that during this conversation that she was having marital issues, or she specifically said the words marital issues?
I do not recall her using the words marital issues. I recall her talking about problems with Brian.
And when you say problems with Brian, the two that you have specified were being away from the children and going back and forth from work.
I'll take a minute to try and remember if there was anything else that I can remember right now.
Well, and you previously testified today that Brian not being able to come to DC.
So the feeling that you got was that she was having marital issues, but it wasn't a statement that she said to you.
No, she did mention problems. She did mention issues. I just don't recall her using the words marital issues.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right. You can step down, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like us to be heard at sidebar? I'm happy to say, Your Honor, I think that.
Hold on. Now you may speak.
Thank you. I apologize.
All right.
I don't have eyes back here. So
You are unmuted.
witness stated she told me there are marital issues, and then when asked about the term marital issues, he stated that there were problems in the marriage, being away from the children and traveling back and forth from work. I would suggest that those come from that conversation, and that is absent of a feeling or a gist and would be admissible. And I would ask, and I would actually even lead on that, just to make sure that we're going to the right portion, and I'm not misstating what he said.
Well, I'll hear from the defense both with regard to the initial argument and also what's your position if I do what's your position with regard to leading?
I would object. I don't think it's appropriate or necessary. He's a grown man. If there's an objection, I will make it. I don't think this is appropriate to lead this particular witness where they want him to go. With respect to the testimony, I don't think he should be able to use the term marital issue or marital problems. He was consistently pressed about what Anna told him. It's clear that this was his feeling, his characterization of that conversation. The purpose of this hearsay exception is to admit specific statements of a witness to show state of mind or motive. It is not a chance for this witness to pontificate about his feelings and responses to that witness. So I think he should be limited to just what she said. And I would object if he starts talking about marital problems or marital issues, because I believe that was his characterization.
All right. So as I said to him, he doesn't have to remember the exact words that she used. What he needs to remember is that she actually said it to him. It seems to me there are at least 3 things that he recalls her saying to him, maybe not the exact words, but they, you just went through, that the back and forth was taking a toll on her, not seeing the children. I don't know if you put those 2 as one, that Brian hadn't been able to leave Massachusetts, and that was a huge burden on her psyche, I think is what he said. I think those are fair statements that he can bring in. I don't think he's had the benefit now of this voir dire in which he's gotten a little bit of legal instruction. I don't know how it's going to play out real time with regard to that word marital problem, marital issues. But I suspect we'll take that as it comes. He may stay away from that just because he's just been cautioned and just been sort of made aware of the distinction of that he doesn't recall her using those words. So I suspect he won't bring that out. If he does, we'll either clarify it by saying, do you have any memory of her actually using those words? And I will entertain a motion to strike. But I think the general gist of he remembers enough of that conversation that some of it's going to come in, the 3 parts that I have indicated. Because it came up, I'd rather get out in front of this issue than being in the backside of it. Is the Commonwealth intending to bring up during his examination the Puerto Rico conversation?
No, Your Honor, that is the first I heard of it.
Sorry,
and I wouldn't do that.
All right. And then the other information that he provided, I guess, to the Commonwealth yesterday, that Anna said, let's take a picture and send it to Will Fasto. I assume the defendant isn't objecting to that.
Chair, a little tighter. Sure. Keep the voice up when you speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you may proceed.
And
Thank you, Your Honor.
This guy talks forever. He talks all night long. Look, he's on the stand for another 142, 242, another hour and 15 minutes. Wow. And then he comes back after lunch. Oh my God. All right, 5 more minutes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you please spell your name for the record?
Sure. It's C-E-M, last name M-U-T-L-U. I also spell it with a G, G-E-M.
And could you tell us your name, sir?
Jem Mutlu.
Sir, what do you do for work?
I'm a realtor.
How long have you been a realtor?
About 25 years.
And what geographic area do you sell?
Boston, suburbs, and eastern Massachusetts.
Commercial or residential?
Residential.
And sir, are you familiar with Brian Walshe?
I am.
Can you tell us how you're familiar with Brian Walshe?
We met at a leadership program back in 2020.
Can you tell us the name of the leadership program?
Boston Breakthrough Academy.
And so how long did the program go on for?
It was the length of a semester, practically. Started at the beginning of the year and ended about the summer.
And so you met Mr. Walshe at this leadership program. What was your relationship with him during this program?
In the program, there was a buddy system. Everyone partnered with someone, and Brian asked to be my partner, and that's how we got to know each other.
And so did you maintain a relationship with him after the leadership program?
Yes, I did.
Now, are you familiar with Brian's wife, Anna Walshe?
Yes, I am.
How are you familiar with Anna?
I met her through Brian. She came to one of the graduations, and then I was introduced and knew about her interest in real estate. We had mutual friends, so it was inevitable that we would meet.
And sir, I'm going to ask if you can pull that microphone closer to you. I think that'll help out.
Sure.
Okay, much better, sir. So, sir, did Anna Walshe ever work for you?
Yes, she did.
When did you hire Anna Walshe to start working for you?
It was the summer of 2020.
And what was her role for you?
She was our director of operations for my team.
And your team, how large was your team at this point in time?
When she started, there were a few of us, but eventually we had 3 operators and I believe 5 or 6 agents and part-time marketing directors, et cetera.
And how would you characterize your relationship with Anna Walsh?
We became very close as friends.
And when did she stop working for you?
It was the spring of 2022.
Why did she stop working for you?
In the fall of 2021, she told me that she was offered a stellar job opportunity in DC. And she asked for my blessings for it.
Now, sir, when the two of you work together, how often would the two of you communicate?
Practically every day, multiple times a day.
And after she stopped working for you, how often would you communicate?
Not as frequently.
What was your relationship like with her family?
Brian and her children,
Yes, sir.
I saw them as my own.
Now, did you ever have, or your team is probably the better way to put this, did your team ever have the opportunity to sell any properties for Anna Walsh?
Yes, we did.
Can you tell us what properties your team sold for Anna Walsh?
We sold a property in Marblehead where they were living when I met them. And then we moved them to a property in Cohasset, and then we sold that property as well for them.
Were there any investment properties that your team was able to sell for Anna Walsh?
Yes,
Where was that property?
in Revere.
And do you remember when that sale occurred?
Well, that sale would have closed on December 29th or just a day or so before because I called her on the 29th, a couple days before New Year's to congratulate her.
So I'm going to ask you some questions about December 29th now, sir.
Yes.
When you called her, how long do you think that call was?
It was about 45 minutes.
And why did you call her?
I called to congratulate her on the closing. And I had found out that she was going to reinvest that property.
And when you say reinvest that property,
Or rather, reinvest the proceeds from the sale of the property.
and sir, are you familiar with what's called a 1031 exchange?
I am.
Could you just tell us what a 1031 exchange is?
Sure. It's a federal like-kind tax-deferred exchange program where after a specific closing, a buyer...
I'm going to interrupt you because of the noise outside.
Sure.
And then once that passes,
Of course.
it's kind of tough to compete with that.
Of course.
All right. Now, sir, I think that that's passed. You said that there's a certain period of time for this exchange. Can you tell us again?
Correct. Typically, buyers have 45 days to declare 1, 2, or 3 properties. It has to be of equal or greater value, and they would have 6 months, 180 days to close on 1, 2, or 3 of those properties to equal, again, or be greater than the value of the proceeds of the sale.
And so your understanding at this point in time was that Anna Walsh was going to use these funds for a 1031 exchange.
That's correct. I was happy for her that she would actually reinvest and that that she would grow financially.
Now, during this conversation, what plans were made for New Year's Eve?
She specifically told me, she said, I know you. You're not going to go anywhere for New Year's Eve. You're just going to stay at home. Please, please come and spend New Year's with us.
Did you agree to?
I did.
Now, during the conversation, what did she tell you? What did she, well, let me ask you this. When you had this conversation, did she have any problems?
Yes.
What did she tell you about these problems?
She had.
So let me, jurors, give you a little midstream instruction with regard to the expected testimony. I expect now that Mr. Mutlu is going to provide some testimony regarding statements that were made by Anna Walsh during this conversation on December 29th of 2022. The statements made by Anna Walsh are being admitted only for the limited purpose of establishing her state of mind, cannot be considered as proof of the criminal acts charged. You may proceed.
Thank you. So, sir, what did she tell you as far as problems she was having in this conversation on December 29th?
While I don't remember the specific words that were spoken after 3 years,
yes, sir.
I will tell you that she did say that at the time that they were having marital problems.
Objection, Your Honor. Characterization.
All right. I'll strike the characterization. Why don't you approach it a different way?
I will. What did she tell you as far as traveling back and forth?
I would.
that it was taking a toll on her, that she wasn't, that obviously as a mother, not seeing her children.
Your Honor, objection, move to strike. May we be seen at sidebar?
You may be.
Here we go.
Say about Brian Walshe not being able to leave Massachusetts.
Again, I don't recall specifically the words that were spoken. I do not recall exactly every single word that was spoken during that conversation.
Understood. It's been 3 years, sir.
It has.
Okay.
I did give Detective Harrison.
Objection, Your Honor, move to strike.
All right, we'll strike that last portion.
It's okay. And
Well,
sir,
another
again,
question.
Sure,
Thank you.
I understand.
Now, sir, moving past December 29th. Okay.
Go strike.
When was the next time you got to see Anna Walshe?
On December 31st,
Where did you get to see Anna Walshe?
at their rental house in Cohasset.
Okay. So that night when you went to the rental house, did you bring anything with you?
I did.
What did you bring with you?
I brought fruit and chocolate for the children, and yeah,
And about what time do you think you got to their home that night?
about 8:30.
Was anyone with you when you went to the home?
Yes. I mean, not with me, no. There were people in the home.
Well, we're going to get to that. So, but with you, there was no one else with you in your car.
There was no one else with me, no.
Okay. And so tell us what happened when you got there at the Walshe house.
Anna came running out of the house to greet me. Yeah, that's what happened.
And when she greeted you, where'd you go, sir?
Wow.
Excuse me?
Where did you go? When she greeted you, where were you when she greeted you?
I was still pulling up into the driveway. She came running out of the house with no coat on. It was freezing.
And what happened when she greeted you?
What is it?
What happened when she greeted you? What did she do?
I'm sorry, I couldn't
What
hear.
did she do, sir?
What did she do? Well, I opened the door. We hugged each other, and then she ushered me in.
Now, when you got inside, who was home?
Brian was there.
And where were the children at this point in time?
I was told they were sleeping.
And so when you got inside, where did the three of you kind of socialize or congregate?
Sure, it was in the kitchen countertops. There was a large island.
And Ms. Gilman, could we have Exhibit 3? Sir, can you see that screen? Showing, for the record,
Yes.
Exhibit 3 is on the screen. You were nodding your head. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Is that where the three of you socialized that night?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down. Now, what was Anna Walsh's demeanor that night when you were in their kitchen?
Festive. Very
What-
happy to see me, and yeah,
And I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
that's it.
What was Brian Walsh's demeanor like while the three of you were together?
He seemed fine. He seemed happy.
And so when we were looking at Exhibit 3, where were you seated as far as being around in the kitchen?
Anna and I were seated on the stools of the kitchen, and Brian was on the other side preparing the meal and serving us drinks and food.
Okay. Now, that night, did anyone join the three of you?
Yes,
Who joined the three of you?
their oldest son.
And
Yeah.
what happened when he joined the three of you?
He ran to me, and he said, "Jem, I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you." And he hugged me.
Now, did you take any photos with the oldest child?
Sensitive, very
Yes,
sensitive.
Anna took a photo.
And that night, Anna took the photo. What did she use to take the photo?
I believe it was her cell phone that she used.
And so that night with her cell phone, could you see her doing anything with her cell phone?
She was texting.
Cat Reynolds, I'm talking about the man licking his lips. That's disgusting, bro.
Folks.
And do you know who she was texting?
Well, I do know that she had either received a text message or was texting back with Abdullah. And I believe she said, let's take a photo for Will and send it to Will Fasto. And I believe she was texting with Emily, and it would have been maybe a bunch of other friends, yeah, who were texting her. It was New Year's Eve. A lot of messages back and forth.
How long was their oldest child with you that night?
I'm going to say a half hour, maybe a little more.
All right, I'm done. To be continued tomorrow. Friday night, baby. You know it's going to be all-nighter. 6 a.m. We'll be here all night tomorrow. Don't worry about it. We'll be here. Before I get off, guys, I want to watch this video, a 2-minute video. The 2-minute video of a man suspected of throwing wife off a balcony, and he's crying over her coffin when he went to the funeral. So apparently, this guy we're about to watch threw his wife off the balcony, but he went to the funeral, and now apparently he's crying over her coffin. Let's watch it, and then we're going to bed. Run that shit.
Looks like the image of a husband in mourning as he lays his head down on his wife's coffin following her tragic death. Among family and friends gathered at the beautiful influencer's wake to pay their final respects after she took her own life. But in reality, authorities believe that Maria Catian Gomez da Silva was murdered and that it was her husband, Alex Leandro Bispo dos Santos, who killed her.
Another asshole man who kills a wife. Another one. Wow.
Everything you need to know. Maria Catian Gomez da Silva was a young mom and social media influencer who posted beauty videos and whose family described her as cheerful.
Look, she was on TikTok and stuff. Oh, man. Really? Wow.
And spontaneous. But in the early hours of November 29th, Maria's life came to a tragic end. She was pronounced dead after falling 10 floors from the building she lived in with her husband, Alex. According to CNN Brazil, neighbors called police after hearing
she was beautiful. Now she's dead.
A scream and the sound of her body crashing on the ground. First responders arrived to find her husband. She lived in with her husband Alex. According to CNN Brazil, neighbors called police after hearing a scream and the sound of her body crashing on the ground. First responders arrived to find her husband embracing her lifeless body. She jumped off the balcony after they had an argument, he claimed. But authorities thought something more sinister might be at play, and they registered the death as suspicious. During their investigation, they collected security footage from the apartment, and what they unveiled was extremely disturbing. In one clip, Alex is allegedly seen beating and dragging Maria through their building's parking lot just minutes before her death.
Punching her.
Video from the building's elevator Maria was extremely disturbing. In one clip, Alex is allegedly seen
dragging her in the parking lot like P. Diddy did in the building.
And dragging Maria through their building's parking lot.
And now he's punching her like Diddy did in the hallway. Wow, that's fucked up, man.
Minutes before her death.
Look, wow.
Video from the building's elevator then shows him appear to reach for her neck and the couple arguing before he forcefully
thank God camera views, man. Oh my God.
Pulls her out and the doors shut. A clip from the same location.
Pulled her out. Oh my God. I feel sorry for women. Ladies, I feel sorry for you women, man. Seriously, most of you women are weak and you can't do nothing. That's fucked up, man. And then you find someone that you trust and love and try to start a relationship, and then they treat you like fucking dirt and crap, like shit. It's not fair, man. Really not fair. God bless you, ladies.
Timestamp 2 minutes later, then shows Alex getting back into the elevator, this time alone. He collapses to the ground and shows Alex the doors appear to reach for her neck and the couple arguing before he forcefully pulls her out and the doors shut. A clip from the same location, timestamp 2 minutes later.
2 minutes later.
Then shows Alex getting back into the elevator, this time alone.
You think he threw her off the terrace in 2 minutes? Wow.
Collapses to the ground and his hands on his head.
Wow.
With that evidence, along with inconsistent statements from Alex, police had enough to peg him as their main suspect and arrest him on December 9th. According to CEN, Maria's family never believed that she could have actually taken her own life and are now demanding justice.
He was just arrested December 9th.
Her aunt posting on social media that the young woman had been silenced by a man who said he loved her. Maria leaves behind a daughter who is living
Oh my God, they had a daughter. They had a daughter. Oh my God.
Grandparents, while her husband and suspected killer remains in custody as the investigation continues.
Unbelievable. Wow. That is sad. That is sad. Wow. Incredible. Ladies, you got to be careful, ladies. Find the right guy. You never know who the right guy is, though. I know. But if you do find a man and you're dating, or a woman, vice versa, and you're dating, just try to see all the good things happen. If you see any weird things happening that he has to always apologize for, you need to move on. Because you never know. You know? It's always those extra things. Sucks. It's unbelievable, man. It's really sad. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to bed. Everybody in the chat, I'll be here tomorrow night, around midnight tomorrow. Midnight until 6 a.m. Yep, I'm a loser. Let's be losers together. Let's be losers together. Bring some eggnog, guys. Eggnog and some drinks or whatever you want to drink. Oh, man. I've been working out. I've been working out. Do I look bigger? Yeah. Yeah. Let's go, Cat Randall. Let's go, Cat Randall, donating $5. Thank you very much for your gifted membership to Mystic Firefly. Got it. Wow. All right. Mystic Firefly, you got it. Congratulations. Yeah.
I woke up in a new Bugatti. I woke up in a new.
Thank you very much, Cat Randall. You know.
Leroy Jenkins.
I'll give you a leaf blower. That's your leaf blower.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Excuse you and me and everyone else, you gotta say, boy. You already know. This is Cat Randall's song. Cat Randall, the Godfather. And you already know, guys, it's Friday.
It's Friday, Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Friday, Friday. Getting down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
To the weekend. Let's go, baby. Anyway, guys, peace. Let's see you tomorrow. Love you all. Bye, everyone. Don't be a stranger. Say hello to your neighbors. You love your neighbors. Bye.
Cachetote, bonito. Ay, qué chulada.
So Brian.
Let me have you, Brian.
What did you do? You're living it every night, aren't you, boy? Turn yourself in, Brian. Once in your life, be a man.
You like him going? Whoa!
She was just watching. Remember, she wasn't doing that. I was just saying she was talking. Got it. But she was mainly watching pop.
All right, guys. Good night. I'll see you
She
tomorrow.
was young.
Be safe.
She was
Happy
beautiful. She was chasing her dreams. She was excited. She was hopeful. She was in love. She wanted a partner. She wanted support. She wanted to be cherished. She trusted him. She was anxious. She was overwhelmed. She took responsibility. She was scared. She was manipulated. She was abused. She didn't deserve this ending. She didn't deserve the abuse. I will say her name. I will share her story. I will spread awareness. And I will use my voice because hers was silenced. Her life was stolen, but her legacy will live.
Yelling at the sky, screaming at the world. Baby, why'd you go away? I'm still your girl. Holding on too tight, head up in the clouds. Heaven only knows where you are now. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Never got the chance to say your last goodbye. I gotta move on, but it hurts to try. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. How do I love again? How do I trust again? I stay up all night, tell myself I'm alright. Baby, you're just harder to see than most. I put the record on, wait till I hear our song. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing with your ghost. Every night I'm dancing fell around her like a halo. She was an upstate New York angel without wings. Her smile shone brighter than a morning sunrise. Her laughter put the songbird's voice to shame. When you see a butterfly over a weeping willow tree, or a rainbow, or a wildflower on a grassy mountain peak, she's home with Mother Nature, yes she is. In the heaven on this earth, that's where she lives. That's where she lives, that's where she lives. That's where she lives. That's where she lives.
Guys, for me, it's how nice you are for me. Oh my gosh, it's how much you make me glad. It's how hard you always laugh for me. Okay, go. It's you're really great.
towels. Yeah. Yes. Do I have to make the swan towels for you every morning when I make the bed? Sure. So you feel like you're on vacation when
Only
you
if you want.
I will for you.